All right. Welcome back, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of the Hero Brew podcast. Today's episode is going to be a little different. We're going to just do a recap of our of our New York Comic Con experience.
Right.
To help us with that is the one and only Brant Boersma, aka SCOOPFLOW. What's up, big dog?
Hey,
How you doing?
it is good to be back, gentlemen. What a time.
Yes, sir.
You know, lots gone on in the world, and it's nice to see all your guys' handsome faces.
You know what's crazy is you're our first repeat guest.
Yeah, repeat
guest.
Recurring guest.
Well,
yeah.
let's try to get this in a rhythm, then. I'm in.
Yeah,
Here
so
we
the
are,
bar
man.
is high right now with you. You're setting the bar up, dude.
It's the first recurring. I got it. I'm here for it.
He
We
said,
got a
"What
lot
can
to
I
talk
say?"
about, though. Got a lot to talk about. Listen, not gonna lie. I mean, it's not crazy, but maybe it is crazy. Hold on. I took some notes, boys. I took some notes.
Yeah, exactly.
Let's
I
go,
had
dude.
to. I was like, all right, I'm inspired.
Yeah.
Wow.
Hey, guys.
Dude,
What up?
What's up? How
this
goes
is
it?
awesome.
Austin Cameron, I think it's your guys' time to just ask us the questions.
We got
a lot of stuff written for you
I
guys.
mean, I got some stuff for Brant too, but I mean, you guys have started off.
Well, okay.
Dude, I mean,
well, go for it, boys. Sorry.
I was going to say, I felt like the whole time you guys were there, I felt like, and I messaged both you guys this, like I was living through you guys while you were there, and thinking of all these questions. We were just, me and Cameron were jotting them down as we went throughout the weekend as you guys were there. And yeah, dude, we were just super stoked for you because of all the cool things we were hearing about. And we're like, man, that's going to be so sick to talk about in a podcast with them and just really get to pick their brains on all the details of it. But yeah, I guess the first question to just dive into it is like, how was the whole trip? What was your overall experience? Just give us the rundown to start.
Well, can I be free to back it up a little bit?
Of course.
Yep,
Let me prep it. Let me kind of tell you that.
What do you got?
I took notes. You know what I'm saying?
There you go. Yeah.
Let me just see. I wrote something down first. Well, let's see. It was like, yep. You did that. No. Yeah, so New York Comic Con was something that was a secondary idea for myself. So originally, my wife and I and my brother-in-law and my sister were supposed to be going to New York to go to Cat Stevens. Cat Stevens has written a book, and he was touring with that book, and he had to postpone his whole North American tour. So, but before that postponement, I saw that it was at the same time as New York Comic Con. I was like, oh, sick. So I bought VIP tickets for my wife and I. I was like, hey, dude, I want to at least pop in and say what's up. I knew Rob Liefeld was gonna be there. There was a couple other people that I knew, and I was like, oh, they're all gonna be there. It'd be sick to meet all of them, right? And so then the tour gets postponed. So all of a sudden, this weekend away with my wife to go see Cat Stevens and sneak a little extra fun for me on the side became Comic-Con weekend, baby.
Yeah.
So she was a trooper. She's a saint. I don't know if you guys have ever met my wife, Amber. I know you have, Max, but she's just rad. She's a rad lady. And so all of a sudden, things started to build up of okay, well, shoot, let me book some dinners. Let me do some stuff and start talking around. And I had kind of a real kind of small little agenda. And then my brother-in-law and my sister bailed. They're like, hey, we're going out for Cat Stevens. We don't want to just hang, so we're just going to dip. And I was like, I get it. I would too. But I'm like, I've got these commitments that I'm kind of putting together for Comic-Con in addition. And so I'm like, I think we're just going to stay. I've always wanted to go to New York Comic Con. It was my first time. And so with that, kind of leading up to it, I'd been talking to Brandon Davis, Faye's hero, for a little while. I met him at D23 a little over a year ago, and it was right before the shakedown of comicbook.com, right? And all of a sudden, so when I met him, I'm like, hey, dude, I just started following him on Instagram, and I was like, I'm a fan. I'm a fan of of how you talk about being overwhelmed or how you talk about being lonely. I also think it's cool you wrestle and stuff. I'm like, it's just, it's cool, dude. And I'm a fan. And he's like,
dope.
oh, cool. Nice to meet you. Yeah. And so, and that was it. And through all this stuff, oh shoot, let's go even further back. It started really on Whatnot. Okay. That's where it
Whatnot.
really
Yeah.
started, guys. Whatnot, I go to Rob Liefeld's shows all the time. During COVID, when everything was shut down, he started a podcast. And that podcast really became like a huge, I loved it. It was like, whoa, this is one of my favorite artists who, when I started reading comics, he was just coming in hot, like on the scene. Like New Mutants is ripping and X-Force comes out. And then he launches Youngblood. I'm like, and I was a kid, these are the impactful like comic books that just like were like, whoa, this is bitchin'. And he put out a podcast talking basically about all the stuff that was going on for him during that time. And it was just like, whoa. So the thing that he does is the podcast is free. He doesn't have any sponsors or anything like that, and which is sweet. And he just does it because he loves it. And so I was like, I'd love to support it because this is something, it was a podcast that listened to it, like really helped me get through some like lonely times and harder times during the dark COVID years and stuff. And so from there, I saw that he had this Whatnot show. I didn't know what Whatnot was, so I just went on to it. And man, it was so fun because it was just him engaging with fans. And he'd draw stuff and he'd sell it and he'd sell comics, signed comics, he'd sell art, original art, all that stuff. And it was just super sick. And so I just started, I'm like, hey, well, like I want to support him. So maybe I'll just support his Whatnot and just buy a bunch of the stuff off Whatnot and just bid up stuff and win cool things. And so I literally have a tote full of crazy stuff that I just bought, which is rad, you know? And I think I'm
That's
like,
sick.
I think I might use a lot of it. So I do this golf tournament, the SCOOPFLOW Invitational. Next year's theme is going to be comics. And so I'm like, oh, I got a bunch of cool stuff. Liefeld stuff I already have. Anyway, with that being said, so I've started kind of Scoop Flow is like just my, I don't know. It's who I was outside of Dutch, right? Like that's what that Scoop Flow is like. I had to create somebody that wasn't Brant Boersma and getting to kind of build that out and play with that. And so I started winning some pretty big auctions that he was having. I'd buy some original art pieces. Like I got the cover he did a cover for X-Men 97 that I bought. I
Yeah.
thought it was just super dope. Just some things. And he has this like he does this like scoop flow. Now and like it's like oh, and so he does this little rap for me and all this
Yeah.
stuff whenever I win a big auction or anything, and I'm like, dude, the guy's just funny, man, and he's
Yeah.
cool. And through that, I started like people. I'd come in, I started like there's a chat, you can have. So I just started talking to people, and it's like, what's up, everybody? And they're like, Scoop. And it's like, oh, dude, and like, oh, congrats on the win or good game, whatever it was. And so I started really like having these regulars that would be in the room all the time. And so I'd just be like, anytime I'd pop in the room, I'd see these people that are regulars just like me now. And it was just like, it's a fun, cool community. He still does it all the time. I don't get on as much because like during the school year right now with sports and stuff for the kids, it's all a little crazy. Well, through that, I become homies with Jim Viscardi. Jim
Mm.
Viscardi is just like a legend at Image Comics, dude. He's a stud. And so I've just been, messaging him back and forth. And so when I met Brandon Davis, he saw that Viscardi and I are homies, Rob and I are homies. He's like, okay, like I'll listen, I'll check this guy out. I'll listen.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I started talking to him and I just like would comment on stuff and just tell him like, dude, yeah, like you do a crazy, I don't know if you guys have ever watched his wrestling matches and stuff. And I'm like, bro, like
Yeah,
that,
dude, they're
he's just,
insane.
the guy's
Nuts.
a grinder, dude. The guy is just a workhorse. And so I just compliment him, say like stuff. Nah. So a couple weeks before Comic-Con, I was like, hey, I just want to see if you need anything, man. I'm going to be at Comic-Con. It'd be sweet to see you and stuff. He's like, hey, he's like, I don't know if you have anybody that want to sponsor my studios because our funding backed out. And I was like, oh, and I was like, well, hit me up, dude. And so I gave him my number, and then we just started talking. And so I came out with this thing where it was like, okay, he was doing, that very Thursday night, and I mean, as you guys saw through our world,
Hmm.
he did the Peacemaker episode 8 season finale of season 2
Yeah.
and a watch party and then a Q&A. And so he's like, he put it all together. And I'm like, dude, this whole time coming alongside him, I'm like, I just want it to work for you, bro. Like whatever's working for you, I just want to come alongside. I'm not trying to like kind of dictate anything here. I just want to get to know you and develop a relationship with you and also help you build your world. And so that watch party was during a time when I was supposed to go. I had dinner plans with Felix Liu from Felix Comic Art. I'm a
Mm-hmm.
big like I buy a lot of comic art through him, and he has this he does the Lou Family Fund, I believe it's called, where it's basically just that he has a cool organization that he's helping specific with in the cancer world, and it's just that so he has contributors, big contributors for that come to this dinner and stuff. It's nothing too crazy, but it was just really cool. And I was like, well, I already committed to that, and that's from like 8 to maybe 10,
Mm-hmm.
and the Peacemaker watch party is supposed to be at like 9, and I was like, I'm like, okay, how do I figure this out? Well, in the meantime, I'm going to this that Dutch Bros had this event called Lead, and right, and they had all these people, and I was like, hey, they asked me if I'd come and DJ it, which was like, yeah, dude, for
Of
sure.
course. Yeah. Why
Let's
wouldn't I?
go,
Like,
dude.
listen, if Dutch Bros ask me to do anything, I'm in. It's easy,
Yeah.
like I'm
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
that stuff. Like, even though I'm no longer like working there, I'm like I'll contribute in a heartbeat because I love this business that we've grown together, and that is just like it's crazy how huge it is, how massive it is. So getting the opportunity to come out there, I was like, yeah, I'd love to, and it's like, hey, you'll have a little bit of time to like talk to ahead of it, and I was like, sick. So that was like the perfect opportunity for me to get on stage again and just share with the people, and so that was fun. But afterwards, I mean, my favorite part of anytime I go to any kind of Dutch event, it's like late nights, dude. I'm not getting to bed before 3. Like anytime. I'm just staying up all night long, talking to whoever's there, hanging out, going wherever. So night 1, I'm there. I'm like, oh, dude, Max is here. I'm like, bro, I see. I'm like, hey, let's hang. He's like, yeah, yeah, yeah. And of course, like, never get a text back, never get any kind of
That's
community. I'm like,
not
okay, this is
crazy.
crazy.
true,
I'm
dude.
like, oh, what? No way. Max doesn't text back. It's crazy. So I was like, all right. Well, so then the next day, I'm like stalker vibes. I'm like, Max, hey man, I really want to hang out with you. I'd love to see you, dude. Jeez, like, I mean, are you still alive? Hello, is anybody there?
Ghosted.
Sending then like cat emojis and weird stuff, right? I'm like, is
Pick
something
up the
will
phone.
budge you
Come
maybe?
on.
Can you
Yeah.
even carry? He's like, I can't. I'm leading right now. I'm being a lead. I was like,
That's
bro,
not
settle
even
down,
true,
dude. I'm
dude.
like, okay,
Crazy.
calm it. It was wild. So I don't know. I'm like, wow, maybe Max is just in a whole different world now. I don't know, dude. Maybe he's just this freaking stud. I don't know. So finally,
Thanks,
like, I'm
dude.
like, hey, like, I don't know where you're at. He's like, oh, I'm across the way. And I'm like, okay, well, I'll come to you. I'll find you, like, I was just like, I like walk outside and that home or like that American Tail song. It's like, you
So
guys even know what
poetic.
American Tail is? American Tail is
I
the
know.
cartoon. It's an old cartoon that I grew up with this mouse that got stuck, separated from his parents, and like
Yeah.
they're looking at the
It's
moon at
neat.
the same time, and that's how I felt. So, anyways, Max and I finally connected. We were staying up late. We closed the bar down, and we're sitting outside. And as we're walking home, I was like, "Hey, I'm curious if you'd be down to go to New York Comic Con, bro. I have this thing that I'm kind of orchestrating and sponsoring and kind of putting together out there, and I'd love for you to be like my representative out there. You just represent Scoop Flow." And he was like, I don't know if I can do it. And I was like, bro, you lead. And he's like, you're right.
You're
You're
right.
right. And so it was just it was such a like it was a great experience.
God.
And I mean, it was like one of those
Absolutely,
things where you're
Craig.
like standing outside on the sidewalk in front of the hotel, just like holding his shoulders, just like, you can do this, man. I believe in you.
Exactly.
And he's
Yep.
like, but it's New York City. And I'm like, you're gonna be fine. And he's
You'll be
like,
okay.
I'll have to find a place to stay in somewhere. It was
I
like,
bet-
okay,
I might
calm
have been a
down.
little drunk. Okay, we closed the bar down. All right, it was tough.
No, but it was but I did. I asked him, I'm like, hey, will you come alongside me and just help out? I'm like, I've got really this weekend changed from like being like this time with my wife and my sister and her husband, and the Comic Con being just like a fun thing, to now it's really like kind of a getaway for my wife and I. And the Comic Con's still a thing, but like I'm gonna be spending a lot of time just with my bride out there,
Yeah.
and so Max was like, yeah, I'm in. So I'm like, cool. A few days goes by and I'm like, hey dude, I don't know if you remember, we had a conversation the other night. And he's like, I don't know what you're talking about. I'm like, bro, you said you're gonna be there. He's like, lead. And I was like, okay, you got it. You got it. All
Lead.
right. No. So he just checking in. I'm like, hey bro, are you still down? I just want to make sure. And he's like, yeah, I'm in. Okay. I'm like, cool. So then I started talking to Brandon and his team, and I was just like, hey, I got this guy Max coming. He's gonna be my representative. I want you to be able to help. He's down to help any way he can. So please like use him, like move boxes, to to go get coffee runs, to do
Fair.
whatever
Yeah, that's
you
fair.
need, he's there to help, you know? And they're like, dude, no way, thank you, that'd be so rad. And I'm like, and plus I'm like, he's a fan. Apparently he's known about you way longer than I have. So like
That's the dog.
I sent
I'm
you
like
that picture,
anything.
dude. I was like, dude, that picture is from 2022.
2021.
Like
That was 21,
2021.
bro.
Yeah, yeah.
So
Nuts.
so I was like, hey, and you know, I'm like, you get a chance. I'm like, the guy's a fan, pour into him and give him any attention, but don't be afraid to make him work. He's a workhorse and he's not afraid to do it. So he's like, sure, yeah. He's like, yeah. I'm like, can we get him tickets to the con and all that stuff? He's like, dude, we got it. Let's get it going. So all this stuff starts to kind of really come together. So with that all being said, yeah, like it was, I mean, me personally, it was just a fantastic weekend. I got to meet, you know, some of my favorite creators. I got to help out with people that inspire me and get me excited. Like, got to hang with Max. We got to take Max to his first Broadway show. I mean, there's a
Dude, it
bunch of
was
stuff. We'll
sick.
go down the storyline of all that stuff. But I got to spend a lot of quality time with my lady too, which was like super sick. And New York City's just dope, you know? I don't know if I could live there. It's just so much, you know? It's constant stimulation. There's never like any like there is no tranquility out there, I feel like. You have to
Yeah.
like find it. I will say though, we did a couples massage on Thursday when we got there. So like I didn't go to the con Thursday, you know?
Him and his wife, not me and him, by the way.
Are you
If
sure?
anyone's
yeah.
wondering.
You're like, wait,
No, he's like, I gotta lead. I was like, settle down.
chill, 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 chill.
But yeah, dude, it was a great time. I mean, I'd go back for sure. There's some of my highlights that I loved was like Artist Alley and then the panels. You know,
Yeah.
I didn't go, you know, merch shopping or anything like that. But I love the city, dude. I love getting out there. It's like polar opposite of where I live, right? Where I
Yeah.
live, it's just mountains and trees. And there, it's like all those trees and mountains are buildings. You know, so it
Exactly.
was bitching. So, anyways, finally caught my breath. That was a good one.
Dude. But that was like, I mean, it's just so cool to hear about the whole experience because that was like my first thought when I heard about all this, you know, through Max and like, you know, when he tells me and Cameron this and we hear all this stuff, like we're like, are we living a fever dream? Like, what is
Yeah.
happening right
Yeah,
now?
dude,
Like,
I was
know.
like,
Yeah.
I gotta
I
be
know
tripping.
I know I felt terrible because I'm like shooting Max messages. I swear all day for the whole time he was there, and I just
Yeah.
felt bad because like
Heck yeah.
we're living through him. And I'm like, Max, what are you doing now? Like, what panel are you at
Right.
now? And just
Right,
every
right,
time
right.
he would send us something, I was just like blown
well, I
away.
had like no connection when I was
Yeah,
there.
that's
It was
fair.
very
Yeah.
weird, you know? But
Yeah.
Dude,
and
went to,
it was New York. It was just very
that's what I'm saying.
hot.
Like to touch on what you were talking about earlier, Brant, about how you're like hitting him up, like, hey, like, are you still down to do this? It was going
Yeah.
from both sides because we
Mhm.
were doing the same thing. Like, bro, I was
They were
like,
like,
are
"You
you
gonna do this?"
sure
I'm like-
you're gonna go to this, right? Yeah.
Like,
Yeah. You gotta go.
you're like,
Yeah.
you
I'm like,
cannot
dude,
miss
I
this.
told him I would. I was like, I can't. I was
Yeah.
like, there's no way I could back out, dude.
Dude was
I
tripping
was
about
like
New York.
I was
when-
like,
Yeah.
I've never been. You know what? I don't. When I travel a lot for work, right?
fair. Yeah, that's fair.
So I know what I'm like literally, I know what I'm flying into. You
Yeah.
know, I know where
Yeah,
I'm going. I know who I'm gonna meet. I know who
Mhm.
like. I've had these conversations with certain people. One, I was traveling just to New York, where I was like, okay, I'd never been to New York, so that was a
Fair.
little weird.
Yeah.
And then I literally had no clue what exactly I was doing. I was like, dude, how about if like Brent's like, you know what, dude, maybe you could just chill or something, you know? Like
Yeah.
maybe you know, like maybe you don't get to go to the con or whatever. And then I was like, DD Brandon Davis was like, I feel like he's gonna hate me, like he's gonna look at me, he's gonna be like, you know what, dude, we're gonna do
This
something else. Yeah, dude.
Whoa.
You're like, are you serious? Yeah.
That's a big favor you're asking for,
Yeah,
Brant.
Exactly, dude. I was like, man, you know what? I'm just gonna wing it. And then I don't think I felt comfortable until I landed in New York
fair.
City.
Yeah.
Once I landed in New York City, I was like, let's fucking go, dude. I was so
Yeah.
excited.
I could definitely
So-
tell that too. Like in the messages. He was like
Mhm.
the whole time he's like, all right,
Tripping.
I'm landing here, I'm landing there. And then he finally got to New York and he's like, wow, this is crazy. And I'm
So
like,
he
yeah.
was texting. So he could text.
Oh,
Yeah.
Wild times.
it was
That's
like
just
every
crazy.
few hours or so. Every
That's
few hours.
weird.
It just out of nowhere, you'd be like,
There was so many times where I'd like check in. I'm like, hey, dude, you know, like, you good? Everything's good? And it's like, Oh, I'm like, he's busy doing shit. Awesome. All right, cool.
Yeah, Thursday was
But
busy.
it was dope because I didn't like. I didn't know necessarily what was going to happen. I had an understanding of what Brandon was trying to set up, and I thought, oh, like that's easy. I love events, so I'm like, yeah. I mean, there's a lot of moving pieces. I get that. Like, it's not. I say it's easy, but it's not like, yeah, anybody can do it. You know, like it takes a lot of work and takes a lot of manpower and a lot of hands. And I was like, well, I knew I wasn't going to be able to help with it, and I was like, I'd want to, like, yes, I'm helping financially by sponsoring the event and kind of getting things moving, but I'm like, I want to get my hands dirty too, and I won't be able to until after this dinner. And that's when actually they're actually doing the Q&A, which was like perfect. That's when I'd want to be there anyways. Like I love Peacemaker. I wanted to watch it, but
Yeah.
unfortunately I got the Q&A spoilers and then I got to go watch it the next day. But whatever.
It's okay.
I'm a big boy. I can handle my
Yeah.
emotions sometimes. But yeah, dude, so that's when it was like, hey, there's a couple events that Brandon's doing, and I'm like, and I'm pretty sure he can get us into like a lot of the panels if we wanted. But I'm like, also like, I'm like, all I really wanted was for Max to help me when we were there for that actual, like, after like that watch party and the Q&A. I'm like, anything else was just a cherry on top. Anything else was just a
Mhm.
bonus. But I'm like, hey, like that's what I really need you for because I won't be there. So my wife and I showed up, and we kind of like ended up showing up before the dinner, to help just unpack some stuff and like just to say what's up because I'd never outside I hadn't seen Brandon in like a year. And the last time I saw him, like he didn't even know who I was, so it was just a different meeting. And then kind of, all right, brought some boxes up and was like, all right, guys, I'll see you later. I'll see you. Hopefully, I'll see you after. And I wasn't sure if I was going to make the Q&A or not. But that's the whole thing was like, hey, Max, I want you to be inside there in case I do show up early. I don't want to interrupt anything because I'm not going to blow up Brandon while he's doing an interview. Like, I don't like that's like no way.
Mhm.
And
Right.
so that's when it was like, okay, we went to dinner, and I went to a dinner with Felix Liu, and it was, dude, it was so sick. My wife and I got we were a little late, but right when we walked in, right behind us was Daniel Warren Johnson. And I don't know if you guys know him. He's just this Eisner Award winning writer, artist, legend that like just got off a hot run of Transformers. He's worked on all kinds of he's just an awesome comic artist who I'm a big fan of. And so he was also coming to that dinner. So he came in behind me. I'm like, oh, bro, oh, good. We're not the only ones that are late. And I've never met him or anything. He's like,
Yeah.
okay, yeah, cool. Yeah. And then we ended up sitting down, and he sat at our table, and he's a golfer. So it was like, oh, this is so sweet. And the poor guy had been, I mean, I say poor guy, but it is what he loves to do. But he'd been signing and sketching all day long, right? And hadn't really eaten. So it was like he's just gone down eating. We are all eating and had a great dinner and just rapped with him quite a bit about golf, about Dutcher Creek, my family's course. And it was just bitching. It was super fun. So then dinner got over with, and they're like, hey, we're going to go to the Scott Snyder party. It's like basically the DC Comics party. It's at this bar down the road, you know? And I'm like looking at my wife, and I'm like, we're going to go there and not know any single humans. I'll know who majority of them are, but none of them will know who I am, and you won't know who any of them are, and none of them will know you. I'm like, nah, we're good. That's cool, but I'd much rather go back and catch the Q&A if I could and just kind of watch it. So we got back right before the episode ended, and so I'm texting Max. I'm like, "Hey, we good?" And so then we finally, my wife and I, sat in. We watched the live recording, and it was like sweet. And that was like, it was kind of nice. To everything's all said and done, and it's just like, dude, hey, how do everybody seem cool, having a good time? So I can't tell you what happened. I understand there's a part of me that heard something about hot Cheetos that you did. You got a hot Cheeto table going. So I don't know what all the labor intensive things
So you
that
you
Max had to
did get the hot
participate in.
Cheetos, Max.
You
Oh,
did
yeah,
it, Max?
I
How?
ended up getting, dude.
Wow.
I ended
He's a
up
wizard.
like,
Dude,
no, I ended up finding some hot Cheetos, dude. I went to
you went to a bodega and bought all of their hot Cheetos, didn't you?
a bodega, aka 7-Eleven,
Okay.
and then
Nice.
no, I
Yes.
bought like a whole bunch of sodas. When I say I bought, BD Brandon Davis, that, like it was him,
Right.
but
Yeah. Yeah.
I was just helping him, I was his like personal assistant, and I was like, when he's like find hot Cheetos, I was like, I gotta find these hot
You
Cheetos.
have to.
I
Yeah.
was like, There's nothing else that
He said I had to find hot Cheetos.
I was like, I am in New York. I remember I was like, okay, they didn't have any here. Let me go to this Target. I went to Target like it was like a couple blocks away. And I am running. I'm like
Oh my
not
God.
waiting at the signs. I'm like almost getting hit by like people on bicycles. I'm like, dude, I gotta pay attention. But I ended up like taking everything Target had, which
Yeah.
wasn't a lot.
Yeah.
But we had a cool little hot Cheeto bar. So basically we had like, you know, and there was more people. This girl named Kay was there, and she helped out a lot. She was super rad. She was like Brandon's like assistant / publicist / something, but she helped out a lot, and it was just cool seeing the behind the scenes of everything.
Yeah.
You know, like we always see like the after, right? We always see like the Q&A, right? We see all this stuff, but we never see like what goes into it. And it was such a cool experience seeing that, because it's like that's what we want to do, you know, like us as like a podcast, we want to be able to like know the ins and outs of everything. And
Right.
like if I could do a quick little shout out to Brandon Davis, because this dude, let me tell you, was moving the whole time we were there.
He's a
Like you
baller.
could ask Brant. This dude was
He's
like,
not, and he's a big dude. He's not
Yeah,
like
he is.
like he's like not like big, but he's like just like, what's up? I'm Brandon. I mean,
yeah,
he's
dude,
what,
he's
6'3",
tall. He's
maybe. He's a tall dog.
He's like as tall as me. And I'm 6'4", and I felt like I was kind of looking up at sometimes. But it was just really like, dude, even that day, Thursday night, I remember I like landed at the airport, went straight to my hotel, dropped off my luggage, walked to his place. Well, I sped walked to his place, which was like only like 10 minutes away from the place I was staying at. And it was like, I was so nervous. I was like, hey, dude, I'm here. And then like, he was like, oh, I'm just chilling with like his co-host Jenna.
Yeah.
And I was like, and I
Okay.
saw them in the lobby, and I was like, I'm not walking over there. Like,
Why?
I'm
Come on.
No.
Yeah.
I was like, there's no way I'm going to do it.
Yeah.
I was like, I stood
No, I
around
can't
for
do
probably
this.
like 2 minutes before I actually walked over there. I was like spinning in circles. I was like, dude, I was like, I just got to
is
go
that
for it.
them? I'm not sure. It might be. Yeah.
Dude, I met them and they just instantly started talking to me, and we started talking about like, you know, everything. We started talking about their podcast. We started talking about what we're going to do tonight. Like, what was the game plan? And it just felt so natural. It felt like I knew him already. And I was like, this is weird, because like I watch you on a screen like
Right.
constantly, you know? And I'm like, and then seeing like Jenna too, it's like she was just, her comic book knowledge is just
Dude, and she has such great hair, dude. Her hair
amazing
is
hair.
so dope.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he was like, oh yeah, he's like, yeah, I'm sitting with Jenna, the girl with the curly hair. I was like, I know who that is.
I know who that
Yeah.
is. Yeah. Yeah.
Like, I was like, I already know who that is, dude. I'm
Right.
gonna. But like, dude, it was so insane. Like, just chatting with them, and like, they're fans. You know, they're fans
Yeah.
of the art. They're fans
Yeah.
of like the actors. They're legit fans, and like, they don't think like, you know, I've met like people that I've looked up to, like celebrities or like people in the entertainment industry, and sometimes, you know, those people aren't so nice to meet, right? These guys were just like so freaking cool. And I was like, this is so rad, dude.
Yeah.
I was like, this is like surreal. And I remember I was texting Brant, I was like, dude, you're making dreams happen. And he's like, dude, we're just dream weaving, you know? And I'm like, that's perfect. That's perfect.
Yep.
And I don't know if even Brandon knew what he was doing to me, as in like I just felt so inspired, even just from the intro, like from the very beginning. And I was like, oh, this is dope, you know?
Yeah.
And yeah, I was just helping them out. And that whole thing, the whole the watch party was just insane, you know? And like,
Yeah.
I originally thought like, hey, we're just gonna do this watch party and then I'm gonna enjoy the con, you know? And luckily it turned into way more than that. But it was yeah, it was pretty cool, dude. That first day was awesome.
We well, can we talk about something though, real quick?
Yeah.
Let's talk.
Everybody can see everybody, right? Everybody can see everybody's screen. Okay, it is kind of Halloween season right now, you know, right?
Right.
If you are looking at the screen on the left side, so technically over his right shoulder, Max, that door being, doesn't it make you think like somebody's gonna pop in
Dude,
and just
Yeah.
You know,
Just right in the neck or something, or something like
bro.
Just
a
someone
goblin's gonna
standing
stick
there.
out. I just feel like
Dude,
you're trying to be scary right now.
no,
Yeah.
I leave it open for my cat, dude.
Yeah.
Like,
Okay.
if my cat
Jumps on his
walks in, she's sleeping right now, so I might close it. But
Dude, occasionally
once
we
I
get
close
that.
it, she's gonna be like, "Why is this
Right.
door closed?"
We get
You
that
Yeah,
know?
Casey
man. Oh,
appearance
yeah.
every so often too. He'll
It's
pop
Yeah,
up
true.
and he'll be just
Casey
like,
might come down and be like, "Hey guys, shout out my roommate."
Thursday, dude, the thing that was super fun for me, my favorite part of Thursday, because we came again before the Q&A started, and with the Q&A, but before the Q&A started, it was like the ending, and like you could hear people like cheering and laughing, and it was like, okay, sick, like this is a fun, engaged group. It's not like people are like, that was a very
serious.
good episode, like it was like,
Yeah.
okay, these are fans with them, like sick. And we had brought a bunch of Scoop Flow shirts, same one that like Max is wearing right there, but we printed Phase Hero on the back. I'm actually
Mm-hmm.
wearing this hoodie. I
Oh,
got
yeah.
this for Freddie
Fresh.
Stroma.
Oh, that's sick.
Yeah, isn't that sick? So for Freddie Stroma, Max, Brandon, and I, we all had these hoodies, And so anyways, that was super cool and gave out a bunch of stickers and stuff. But afterwards, I mean, we had gone to this kind of dinner and it was cool and it was fun, but we didn't eat it. We ate some, we ate a ton. We didn't eat a ton, but we ate some, and we weren't hungry by any means, but like none of the guys that like had just put on this event that really were working it had eaten yet, really. And so it was like, hey, you guys like, and I'd talked to Brandon beforehand. I'm like, hey, I'd love to go out to, get a meal or drinks or whatever afterwards and just recap. I want to hear about how it went. He's like, dude, that'd be great. So I was like, sick. So then that day, that during that event, I was like, hey, let's go to there's the lounge at my hotel. Like, let's go grab something to eat there. Well, by the time we got out, it was past midnight. Everything was closed. And we had this incredible room. I mean, it was just epic
It was
room.
ridiculous.
So ridiculous.
And
And
it
it
was
had
like the
this
Fantastic
massive
Four, like
Yeah.
family area. I was like, "What is this place?"
Yeah.
it had this huge kind of like living room space that had a big massive couch and like a table. And I'm like, okay, nothing's open because the lounge had closed. So I was like, let's just order a ton of room service. So we ordered just a ton of room service. And by the time we kind of get all settled in, they're like, okay, yeah, it's food's not going to be there till like 1 a.m. I was like, well, that's fine, because Brandon went back to his place to drop off a bunch of stuff, and then he's mashing over. And so him and Kay came over, and it's Kay, right? I'm saying Kay. It's
I
not
hope.
Kate.
No, it's K. Hopefully, it's K.
No, it's Kay. I know
It's
it's Kay.
K. I was like,
Yeah,
I hope I'm
she's
not wrong because I definitely
edit
called her
that
K.
out of that.
I will.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so
Yeah, no,
we
it'll
don't want to
stay in
hurt her
there.
feelings.
It'll
Jeez,
stay in. It'll stay in. It's
Well,
K.
Kay,
It's K. It's
I said Kay. Max said Kate. I had to talk him out of it for the record.
Yeah.
Um,
Just start saying the goat. The goat.
So Brandon and Kay come over, and we just stayed up, and we stayed up till like, dude, like 3 a.m, just talking, connecting,
Yeah.
talking about life, talking about, and in a small world, I had like one of my homies was friends with Kay, and so it's just like, this is crazy, like what is happening? So it's just a super fun, sweet night. And I was like, when everybody left, I was like to my wife, I was like, babe, thank you for like just like I mean, this is our little space, and we were able to, she was so cool. She put on a robe and just hung with everybody, and we all got shots of tequila and toasted, and it was just like, it was super fun, man. It was super sick. So it was a sweet night. And you know what, I'm thankful for that, just having the time with Brandon as well, because I feel like it was just a nice break for him in a way, but also like, dude, it was just nice to get to like know him on a deeper level than
Mhm.
just through messages, and so, and have an opportunity to chat, and so night was great. And that was, yeah, so Thursday was like, I mean, I had flown in from Chicago. I was in Chicago on Wednesday. I went to a seminar on Wednesday, and it was fantastic. It was the first time in years, honestly, almost since like Coacha events, that I had like, I was getting fed like content. I was getting fed inspiration and motivation, and these cool things. And it was an owner to owner thing. So it was a bunch of different business owners that were getting up and talking and sharing and super radical. One of my favorite takeaway lines for it was, you build the child for the path, not the path for the child, which I was like, that's bitching. Because like, if you have kids, it's like super sweet, because yeah, that's the hope, is that you're building your
Mhm.
kids up, so that, because you can't, like, if you build the path, it's fine until the seasons change and the path changes now all of a sudden. And now this kid, if you don't build them for that path, you know. So anyways, so I'm coming in like inspired from that, and I fly right into this Thursday. My wife and I, we go get massages. We have a relaxing, chill day because she also flew in from Oregon on that Wednesday. And then on that Thursday night, having this all. So it was like two just dope days, like of like, wow, awesome. Okay. And now we're going into Friday. And I don't even, dude, I think, did you get up early? What did you do on Friday?
On Friday, I slept in.
Yeah,
Mhm.
same, most definitely.
Brandon told me to like meet him at his place around like 1. I was like, yep.
Perfect.
I was
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
I'm gonna sleep until
Why
like
was he having you
11.
meet at, tell him why? Why were you meeting at his place at 1?
So what's cool was so like I said, I went to go pick up the badge. It was kind of like a weird thing because like I was supposed to remind him to bring me my badge and stuff, and I kept forgetting to do it because I
Right.
was just like I was in the moment. It's weird. I know this probably doesn't make sense to you guys, but after Thursday, I was like, if I go home on Friday morning, I am fine. It was worth it.
Mhm.
You know,
It was a trip well
I
done.
was like, dude, I don't even like the con was in the back of my head, you
Mhm.
know? I was like, dude, I just got to meet one of the people. Like, I just got to meet one of the people I've been looking up to for the past couple years, and
Inspiration.
like,
Yeah, exactly.
yeah, it was like, you know, like we talk about mentors and stuff, and he's
Right.
definitely someone where I'm like, I put him in that category. And
Mhm.
so he told me to meet up with him. He's like, yeah, if you want to go to the con early, you could swing by earlier. And I was like, dude, I just want to chill, dog. I'm like, I'm down for whatever. So I'm gonna go pick up my badge, and then yeah, he asked me if I wanted to help him out for the Marvel or not for what was it, the
Invincible.
Invincible panel.
Invincible. Yeah.
And I was like, yeah, dude,
Okay.
absolutely.
Yeah. Why
I
not?
was
Yeah.
like,
Easy peasy,
Yeah.
I
I was
guess.
like, yeah. So I picked up my badge from him in the morning, and we like met up. We talked about Thursday night a little bit more, how the event went, and like the stuff he does. Like I said, this dude's like he has a team, obviously, right? But he does so much. He was on the like he was editing nonstop basically
Yeah.
Right.
throughout the night. Like he brought his laptop to
To my house.
Thursday night, yeah,
Or
to
to
Yeah.
the
my
hotel.
house. My house I have out there now.
Yeah. The
And
New York
I was
pad.
like,
You know
this
what it
dude's
is.
just always like he's always working. He's always on the move. Like it's crazy that Brant said like, you know, he had a moment for just like when he put his laptop away, it was 2 a.m, and it was like
Right.
that was his first break, you know. And I was like, holy crap, this dude puts in a lot of work, you know. And so,
Grinding, man.
and then like when I met up with him, like I said, he's like, oh, I've been editing since like 8 a.m. I'm like, dude, when did you sleep, you know?
Yeah.
And picked up the badge, and then I headed to. I was like, you know what, I'm gonna go. Like he's gonna be busy editing some stuff. I'm gonna go to the con and then meet up with him around like 3 o'clock for the panel. But I spent like an hour or two, and that's when I called you guys. I was like, hey guys, I'm at the con. Obviously, I had no connections. I couldn't like FaceTime you guys.
Right.
But I got to experience it a little bit, and it was crazy. I was like, oh, this is packed today, you know, and it's Friday. I'm like, okay, cool. And then I found Brant in Artist Alley, you know. He's
Yeah.
like sick, dude. I'm like, duh, I spotted him, and I'm like, okay, cool. And then we end up going to the Invincible panel, and or we ran into Jim Viscardi, dude.
Yeah.
The legend.
Legend, you know. Obviously, he co-founded comic book as well, you know, and
Right.
when he got to go to Image Comics, like we were all fans of him, like as our podcast was. And then so that was just like an honor just meeting him, and he's just a chill dude. He's so
nuts.
dope. I was like, have I known you for like my whole life? Like that's how it felt, you know. And then him and Brant got talking, and then I'll let Brant take this part away.
Well, so okay, so for my day, I had like we slept in, and I
Yeah.
was like, all right, let's go get something to eat and then go to the con. And I knew that I wanted to go to this Invincible panel at some point, and I had some other things that I wanted to do, and but I was like, I want to try to get. I have a sketchbook that I've had for 15 years now, where it's like draw whatever you want as long as it has a Dutch Bros coffee inside it, you know, and so. I got to go meet up with Felix and his table and say what's up to everybody. You know, I'm there with Amber, and during that time, my wife met up with Joy, and so she got to go. She's like, "Hey, let's get away for like a little bit. I'm just gonna get away from the con for a little bit." I'm like, "Dude, please do." And so during that time, went and said what's up to Rob, and all of a sudden Max is like, I'm like, hey bro, let's like connect. So we connect, and we're like walking around, and Jim Viscardi, I met him through the Whatnot show, you know, for
Yeah.
Rob Liefeld's Whatnot show. And I'd been texting left and right, he's out in Nashville, and I was like, bro, let me send you some Dutch Bro love, you know, like, so I hooked him up with some coffee and some swag, and I think I gave him like a Scoop Flow hoodie and sweatpants and stuff. And I'm like, hey, like, and I'd never met him before. I just, dude was cool, messaging back and forth with him and talking. So from there, it was like, bro, are you at the con? He's like, yeah. I'm like, we gotta meet, dude. I gotta meet up, man. Like, so finally it's like we meet up, and then it's like Max comes in, we're all there, and it's like, dude. And I'm like, hey, we're going to this Invincible panel. He's like, oh, cool, cool, yeah. Like, here, hold on. Like, so we go walk in towards the Invincible panel, and all of a sudden, like, we get to this area. I mean, there's people all over the place. And he's like, let me get something. I'll be right back, goes, and he gets this like strip of like this sticker, and then like takes my badge and like puts it on there, and he's like, this will get you in anywhere, you know, this is like the family friends thing. And I was like, hell yeah, dog.
Cool. Yeah.
Dude,
So super sick. And I was like, all right, well, let's just go, you know, let's go see Brandon, you know. And so we finally go in there, and is all this ringing bells?
yeah,
Is this the right timeline?
this
Because
is
at
the
some point
timeline is
oh
he
no,
did
yeah, it was
he did tell us about his Dutch Bros drink, which I was like, okay,
wild.
this is a little weird. His drink is a cold brew mixed with like half cold brew, half lemonade, and I was like,
Hey,
Is it good? I don't know.
that
He
sounds
says it
kind of
is.
good. That
I've
sounds
I
never
feel like we
kind
tried
gotta
it.
try it. I feel
I
like
do have to
everyone
try it.
in this room should be trying it. We
All
gotta
right.
try it.
Percent.
We'll follow up.
Okay, I'm gonna give it
Yeah.
a
Follow
whirl.
up. Yeah.
I'm gonna give it a whirl tomorrow.
Okay. He's like, I
I
guess.
don't know.
I
my
guess we
local-
will. Yeah.
My local Dutch Bros might think I'm weird, but
Yeah. Be like,
Yeah,
trust
that's okay.
me,
That's good. They
it's
need
up
it.
and coming. This is the
Yeah.
next big drink.
yeah.
It's called the Viscardi. Get
Yeah,
it.
exactly.
So we go back, and we actually meet up with, before his panel starts. We get to go see Brandon, say what's up, and Kay's there, and it's just like we're all just talking, doing all this stuff, and it's like, oh, they're about to start letting people in. I was like, oh, sick. Okay, I'm like, well, like, I'll go, let's go. And I'm like, I grab Max's bag. I'm like, I got, you know, I don't even know,
Yeah,
but
he
I
took
set
my
his
bag
bag.
and like you went with like Jim to the inside, and like Brandon was like,
Yeah,
"You want to help out?" And I was like, "Sure." But
heck yeah, dude.
I don't know what we're doing. Like, what do you need help with? I was like, everything's kind of set up already, so I'm like, I'm kind of confused.
Yeah.
And he's like, "Yeah, we're just gonna meet like Stephen Yoon and stuff, and like Robert Kirkman." And I was like,
You're like, oh, cool. Yeah.
for what? Like why? I guess the obviously they meet before. They don't like even talk. I thought they were gonna like meet up to talk about like, hey, this is what we're gonna ask you. This what? No, it was just like, hey, what's up, dude?
Go
Like,
for it.
how are you?
Yep.
And like, it was cool because they were doing like, Brandon was doing stuff for his channel where he had assigned like these like
Plexiglass thing.
plexiglass, yeah. And he was like, could you like hold them and stuff? And I was like, I'm gonna hold them for you, or like, he's like, yeah. When Stephen Yoon comes, you're just gonna stand in between us and like do it. And then when Robert Kirkman, same thing, you know. And I was like,
Okay.
I get to be in touching distance with these guys, yeah,
Yeah.
dude. I'm like, I'm there, and it was very much they walk in, and it's like they have a whole, entourage of people, and it was I was like, I saw Stephen Yoon, and I was like, dude, I was like, there's no way. I was like, this is unreal.
You're like, it's
And
Glenn.
then like, yeah,
Glenn.
dude, and like, by the way, they were so nice.
Yeah.
Like everyone I met,
Yeah.
was just ridiculous. And then I see, what's his face that comes in that got cast as Thrag. I don't know why. Lee Pace.
Yeah.
And I was like, in my head, I was like, is that the dude from The Hobbit?
Mhm.
You know, like I was like,
Sure
this
is.
the Elf King from
Yeah.
The Hobbit. I
It
was
sure
like,
is.
I was like, and first of all, he's 6'5", by the way, boys. He's like taller than
He's
me.
a
And
big
I'm like,
boy.
yeah, I was like, what the freak? I was like, I didn't know he was gonna be here. And yeah, I got to like meet all them, and they were just like Stephen Yoon was so cool because I was like holding the plastic glass thing for him when he was gonna sign it. And before we shot the video for it, he was like, wait. He's like, what's your name, dude? I was like, I'm Max. Dude. Like,
Oh, God.
I was like, I'm Max. He's like, dude, I'm Steven. Nice to meet you. I was like, dude,
I know
pleasure
you are.
meeting you.
Yeah,
I
like,
was
I know who
pleasure
you are.
meeting you, dude. You know? And yeah, it was the same thing with Robert Kirkman. He was like Brandon was like, oh yeah, this is Max, and he's like, oh, hello, Maxwell. And I was like, God, take Maxwell. That's what I was like. That's
That works.
I'm changing.
It works
so
for
I'm
me,
changing
yeah.
my name now, guys.
Yeah, I was like, it is
Mhm.
Maxwell from here on out, everyone.
Right.
And so
Right.
yeah, that was cool. And like, I was like, why am I even here? You know, it was like surreal moments because
Yeah.
like I was talking to their PR people, like Stephen Yoon's PR person and publicist and stuff, and she was like, after they found out, like towards the end, they like found out like what I did, and I was like, oh, I'm with Dutch Bros Coffee and all that, and I'm like, you know, helping represent SCOOPFLOW for this event and stuff, and I remember she was just telling me, she's like, dude, she's like, you should really do this. Like, she's like, you're just so nice. Like, everyone on my team loved you and stuff. And I was like, well, I was just being nice, you know. I wasn't doing anything
Right.
like special. But it's like, she was like, dude, you should really do this. This is like, you know, you're good. And I'm like, I don't know what I was doing. I was like,
Just being
I
you.
was holding up a piece of plastic glass, like,
Right.
and I was just hanging out with them, and it was cool being behind the scenes for everything. I was like, this is rad, dude. I was like, this freak's sick. But
We came back after, so after the panel was done, I like text Max. I'm like, hey dude, where are you at? Like, he's like, here, I'm gonna come get you. So I was like, that's sick. So we went back, like
yeah,
backstage, and backstage, like everybody was doing, I don't know, like all the people, all the talent was over there on the other side, and we're just sitting there talking, and how'd it go? Like everything is sick, dude. That was great. Blah, blah, blah. And all of a sudden they all start coming back. They start walking by. So I go right to Kirkman because I'm like, hey bro. I was like, I think you're the guy that keeps outbidding me on Heritage Auctions. And
Like,
he's like, what? I'm like, yeah, dude, don't play games. Like, I know you. I'm like, did you buy that Spider-Man Wolverine cover? He's like, I don't know what you're talking about. I'm like, don't play games with me, dude. Like, I know. Kirkman is a character, dude. That guy
he's
is
so
just
funny.
fantastic. And my wife has such a like, you know, thinks that Steven Yeun is just the cutest like human alive, you know. And so she's like, she wouldn't like, she was too afraid to approach him. I was
yeah.
just like, but he
I
walks
know.
right by us. We're
I was
like
telling her, I was like,
literally
dude, go,
walking
go,
with him.
Yeah.
go.
I'm like, just say hi to.
Yeah.
But anyhow, but yeah, dude, it was super cool. That was, I mean, the panel was great. Invincible, dude. So I read Invincible.
Okay.
I like when it was in the comic form. Same thing, Walking Dead, right? Like
Yeah.
I was in both of those things. Neither of them was I in out of the gates, but I was probably I was on trade 2. So 12 issues had come out. So I was like 13. I was actually, I think, in the 20s when my first comics of The Walking Dead. And then with Invincible, it was probably something similar too, right? And
Mhm.
I think it's pretty fair to say like Robert Kirkman just has a way of telling stories, you know, it's
Yeah.
super fun and engaging. And I mean, there has to be though a combo for me with comic books. Like it has to be good art too. Otherwise, I'm
Mhm.
like, you can have great writing, but I can't handle getting past horrible art. You know, like so I mean, uh, when you're talking about Tony Moore, who started Walking Dead, the first 6 issues, and then Charlie Adlard after that, and it was just the tone, and like you get to see that. And when the TV show finally came out, I was like, please God, don't ruin this because it was such a good comic series,
Yeah.
and it was great. You know, I mean, well, the first few seasons. You know,
Yeah.
it kind of
Yeah.
Yeah. Fair.
it kind of gets away, but hey, and then Invincible, like it was just it's such a good comic. It's so great, and the cartoon dude is like, hell yes, this is great. So getting to watch like. I'm actually behind because I watch it with my youngest kiddo, and usually she's on TikTok or, you know, playing sports or like is just up in her room, right? She doesn't want to, or she's singing the national anthem. So I know what happens in season 3, you know, because I know Conquest, I know all that stuff, and I don't know if you guys are familiar with the show or what, but like,
Mm-hmm.
dude, it was sick to have this like trailer that was kind of like made for New York Comic Con. It wasn't like a
Right.
real trailer to the season. It was just like, this is sick. So getting to see all that, and even Thrag and his voice. What's the guy's name again?
Lee
Lee
Pace.
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 Lee Pace, right? Who was Ronin, right? Like a
Yeah, he
Ronin.
was running
Like
Guardians
I'm
of the
like, dude,
Galaxy.
that's gonna be a perfect voice when he goes deep. I felt like at the panel he didn't really go deep voice at all,
When he did
which I
the
thought he
introduction,
was.
no, yeah, he didn't.
Yeah,
Like
I was like,
I thought it was going to
I
be a little
thought
more
he'd be
deeper.
deeper, dog, but it was. I'm still excited for him to be, because dude, Thrag is a gangster. I mean, I've got some of the original art from that series. Like, Ryan Otley's a freaking gangster. So it was just a great panel to like really kind of get you into the, oh yeah, you're at a Comic Con zone, you know, where you're like, hell yeah, this is sick. Like, and getting back there behind the scenes and kind of seeing all that stuff just reminded me of Coach Days, right? Where it's like, dude, that's what it was like back there. It was like you
All
had
the
all the
screens in the back.
and all the
Yeah, dude.
computers and all the people doing all the stuff. The guy setting you up with a mic, and I was like, "Oh, this stuff's. I miss this stuff. Like, sick. This is cool." So that was super bitchin'. And yeah, Friday, man. What a fun day. What ended up happening? I don't even know. What did you do post con? Well, well, we can back it up. What? Go ahead. Well, I was gonna say, yeah, no, I mean, after that, did we go into the con? Like, what did we do on the con? Did we go on the con floor? Trying to remember. I'm looking at my notes.
Oh no, Friday we did for a little bit, just for I
It
think it was
was
just for like a
Jim
quick
Lee.
second.
I went to Jim.
You
The
went to
Jim
Jim Lee.
Lee.
You went to Jim.
No,
Oh no,
you,
no, we did.
me,
That was
yeah.
Saturday.
Was
That
that
was
on
Saturday. That
Friday?
was
That was
Saturday.
Saturday. No, because
Friday, I
Amber
think.
was there. Amber was there. So much stuff happened, dude. That's what's so sick.
Oh, we
Because
did.
Amber was
Okay,
there. So I think it was
yeah,
Friday. It was before
yeah.
the Invincible panel, though.
Yes, yes.
Maybe. I don't
No, no,
remember.
no. It was after the Invincible panel. We went down to go finish getting like some autographs and stuff from Jim Lee and all that.
Yeah. And Jim Lee had no idea about Dutch Bros. Shame. Shame, Jim. You should know better.
Which is
But
crazy
his
because his whole
assistant did.
team did.
Totally. Everybody else was like, "What?" And he's like, "Well, wait, what is this?" So Max, dude, legend, had a stack of free cards, like of the
Yeah.
like gift cards. So I hooked up the team, and it was like, dude, like it was like I started taking notes. I'm like, "Oh, right, next con, bring free cards. Great, Max. Thank you so
Right.
much for it was sick.
Good.
So
Duly noted. Yeah. You're like, here we go.
yeah, so but I had a couple cool things. Some of my very first comic books signed. What I like is they used to, back in the day, when you go get autographs, artists, nobody wanted to write on their own art. So they'd open it up and just sign the bottom of the page and the column around on the edges there. And so I'm like, in ballpoint pen, and I'm like, that's what I want in these. These are my first comic books, I'm like, give me that ballpoint. And so he signed all these comics. I paid for that experience, like it was a Jim Lee experience you could pay for and get autographs. Because artists and writers, they're all charging for everything out there.
Mhm.
Everything's like, I mean, a lot of these people are literally touring the country because cons is where they make their money now.
Mhm.
Like they had a cool comic book, but they really are making, maybe they're not writing comics anymore, and so they're just making it on their autograph. It's similar to like when you go see, I don't know, you go see Shaquille O'Neal like at a sports card of conference or whatever. I don't. Do they do those? I don't know, dude. But anyhow, it was sick. It was sick, and then Amber and I broke off because we had a dinner to go to. I don't know what you did though Friday night.
I
You just partied.
I no,
You d-
not
Great. He hit up
not at
the
all.
city life, dude,
Yes,
I
hard.
he
think I
did.
was just like, dude, I'm gonna get some sleep. I was like, because I was like, I knew Saturday like was the Marvel panel, and I didn't like at the time I didn't know if I was gonna really help out with that or if I was gonna just go to it or just try getting into it or whatever.
Yeah.
But I was like, you know what? I'm gonna enjoy Saturday. I was like, I'm just gonna enjoy waking up early, going to the con. So I was like, Friday night, let me just sleep. And I think it was the first time in like 4 days that I had like more than 6 hours of sleep. And I ended up like going to bed super early, waking up early, and like I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna head to the con before anyone hits me up. I'm just gonna go over there. Like Brandon got me the like the exhibitor pass and all that stuff, and so I got to go in early to the event, and that was just cool because like we ran into people prior, like other artists and stuff. Like we ran into this girl named Tahani,
She's a legend, dude.
legend, dude. She's so dope. She was at the episode 8 watch
Oh
party
yeah.
too. And
She was
so
carrying around, so she was there at that watch party, and she was carrying around a little portfolio for an art portfolio. So when she was like kind of getting ready to leave, I was like, "Hey," I'm like, "Is that an art portfolio?" She's like, "Yeah." I'm like, "You an artist?" She's like, "Yeah." Do you want to see? I was like, "Yeah." She pulls
yeah, it
out
was
this like oil like painting like that. I'm like, "Dang, dude! Like this is great." So she's like doing paintings for like Magic the Gathering and stuff. So I was like,
yeah.
"Hey." I'm like, so I actually ended up commissioning a piece for her. So it's been cool
Wow.
talking to her, and
That's
Yeah,
sick.
she's a
she
sweetheart
was
too.
rad.
She's
My
just so
my wife
nice.
called her a goddess. She's like, that girl's like a goddess. And I was like, she really has these goddess vibes. She was
Yeah.
rad.
Yeah, she was super dope. Yeah, I got to like connect with her. I was like, okay, I'm gonna go see her in the morning, go chat with her about her art and stuff, just because her art is like incredible. Like
Yeah.
I know I showed you, Austin, some of the little stuff she got signed for me, and like I was like, this is rad. Like I tried paying for it, and she wouldn't let me, and I'm like, come on, dude. I was like, I want to support. And she's like, no, no, you guys have been so great, and I'm like, oh, this is dope.
It's awesome.
And then what's crazy is I was like walking, and then talking about Jim Lee, I ran into like Jim Lee and his assistant again, and like he like shoulder bumped me. I'm like, who the hell just did that? And it was like his assistant and stuff. He's like, "What's up, Dutch bro?" And I'm like, "Oh,
my
dude,
God.
I was like,
That's your dub
"What's up, dog?"
dad.
So I chatted with
So
him and like found out they're from like the Bay Area and all that stuff, and like they knew my hometown. And I was like, he's like, "You guys got to open some up in like closer to the Bay." I was like, "We're going." I was like, "It's going." I don't know if we're ever gonna hit San Francisco, but I was like, "We're going," you know. And that was just super rad going to the floor. One cool experience I had. It was probably one of my proudest like I guess like podcast thing. You know, a goal of mine was I wanted to like ask a question to someone. You know, like I wanted to ask like a legit interview question, and I ended up running into who is it? Tom King, the girl that, or the man that made Supergirl, Woman of Tomorrow, and he made that
yeah,
whole
which
issue
that
line.
the new movie is kind of basically based off of
Mhm.
that. That was like a huge
The
inspiration for it.
Yeah, the new movie's gonna be based on it, and it's cool. And so like I ran into him in the morning and like kind of just talked to him, and I told him what I was doing. I told him I had a podcast and stuff, and he was like, "Okay, cool, ask me a question." And I was like, "Oh shit!" I
Perfect.
was like,
Put you
in
on
my
the
head, I was
spot.
like, "There's no, I'm not ready, dude." I was like,
Yeah.
I was like, I just,
Wait.
I was like, I just wanted like this book and like maybe a signature and stuff, and like, but it was cool because he put me on the spot, and like I just wanted to come up with a question that kind of like that was kind of basic, but at the same time kind of like not ordinary. So I asked him, I was like, what is one of your like what was the inspiration of like writing this story, but not like what was like a personal, inspiration from it, not just like from other comic books or other, characters. He's like, "Oh dude," he's like, "That's a great question." And like I saw a smile on his face and I was like, "Oh, this is gonna be good." And
Yeah.
it's one of those moments where I wish I had like a mic or like something
Mini Mike.
and
Yeah.
like a camera set up, but he was just like, "It's all about my daughter." He's like, "My daughter's everywhere in that book. She came up with the ideas for like the different colors of the sun, different like." She's like, "If we have a red one, could we have a green sun? Could we do this? Yada yada." And he's like, "Dude, that's a good idea." And I was like, "Oh, that's rad." And like you could just tell he was like so happy just to talk about his daughter and stuff, and like really that was his inspiration for it. And he was like, "Dude, that was a great question." And then he had his photographer take a picture of me and him, or him and I, and it was like, I was like, "Oh, this is rad." I was like, "Would it be weird if I took a picture too?" And so I got a picture with him and stuff, and so that was solid. And he said he'll check out the podcast. He was busy, so I don't know if he did yet. But so I'm gonna email him and stuff, and like see if we could ask him some more questions. But he was just super rad, and that was like the first kind of experience I've had, like asking someone that's not just a guest on our podcast, but like someone like in the industry, like,
Mhm.
"Hey," like, and it was my first question. I wish I recorded it, but it's like forever in my mind now. I'm like, I'm forever gonna hold on to that moment. I thought that was super rad. And then walked around the con a little bit more once people started getting packed in. And then I remember Brant, you hit me up around like what was it, 11 a.m. or something like that.
Yeah, something like that. I think I got in at noon. I got into the con about 12:10 or so.
Yeah, and like we end up just that was the craziest day of my
It
life,
was a lot.
dude. That was ridiculous. But yeah, Brent, you can tell this story now, dude.
Well, so we went. So all these comics that I had Jim Lee sign. I also had like my original Extinction Agenda trade, and like so I'm like Chris Claremont's there.
Mm.
Claremont. So like literally like I'm sitting in my studio right down below right now. Like check
Yeah.
this out. Like
That's so
just
sick.
stands there chilling, saying what's
So
up.
dope,
I don't
dude.
understand what I'm
Wait,
doing with this gap right here. I don't know what I'm doing right there. It's weird. So
You can put a selfie
I got
of
some
you and
adjusting
I,
to do.
dude.
ooh, a selfie.
That's what I
We'll
might
put a
have to. Oh no, it's the hoodie picture where like literally it's like who's that tall guy? Who's that tall guy and that little guy in the middle, like standing next to
Oh,
you
dude.
and Brandon
I know.
Davis, both just Amber's like, "You're short." It's like, "Watch your mouth, woman."
Yeah.
So Chris Claremont was there and he didn't his line wasn't super long. So I was like, "Dude," I'm like, "Hey, well, originally we were gonna meet at Tahani's, I think," and I was like,
Yeah.
"Hey, I saw Claremont was there," and I'm like, "This is my time to like it." My wife had gone to hang out with a friend all day, so I was like, "It's my con day. I'm going to just go dive into con world." And so I went and we went there and we waited in line, and then by the time we got up there, you could do this thing where he like does a little like Wolverine claw sketch, you know, and I was like, dude, I'm just gonna have that done. Like he's doodling and stuff. Heck yeah. And also kind of knowing like, oh well, this will give me more time to just ask questions and just be there and just kind of get a feel for it. So I go up, kind of there, give him all the thing. He signed it. I'm like, hey, I'm like, oh, this was the second comic book I ever have bought in my life. And he's like, cool. I'm like,
Sick. Yeah.
super cold. And I was like, oh, but next to him was Terry Dotson. Terry Dotson is an artist. I don't know. He's probably written something too, but he's an artist who lives out in Florence, Oregon. And I've met him at cons before, and like he knows because he's from Oregon. So I'm like, hey, I'm like, Terry Dotson. I'm like, hey, dude, you still living in Florence? He's like, yeah. I'm like, it's the Dutch Bro guy. He's like, oh, hey, man, how are you? I'm like, good, dude, good, just chilling. I'm like, yeah. And all of a sudden, like Chris Claremont, all of a sudden, it's like, well, like you actually aren't just some weird
Yeah, he
freak
ate
who's
his
having
muffin
me draw
too.
on your trade.
He ate his muffin first.
He did. He ate his muffin. He got some energy in his blood, and that like made a big difference.
Fair.
But yeah,
He
dude,
couldn't
it
stop
was
talking after that.
after that, it was just telling us stories. I started talking to him. He doesn't drink coffee. He drinks tea. I actually just sent out a little care package for him today.
Sick.
But I actually sent a bunch of people the care packages. Party.
Woohoo.
But yeah, it was just for me, it was super sick because these are the stories I grew up on. Like when I mean, before Dutch Bros, I lived on a dairy farm, you know, and the dairy farm days, like we didn't have anything. What I had was comics, and so like comic books were my everything. And so I'd sit on the floor of our mobile home and like literally like just read these comics over and over again and stare at the art and like, you know, and so just getting to sit and just talk and listen to Claremont, dude, was just like that guy's a legend. He all these stories that I grew up with, like he wrote, he told. So I'm like, this is a storyteller I could just sit in front of, and he's telling some funny stories. He's telling some weird ones. And you're like, what? This guy is rad. So we got to go
Yeah,
do
dude.
that experience, and like literally Max was just kind of standing there in the back, like cool. And the guy he gave me he gave me his information so I could kind of send some coffee to him, and he gave me
Right.
this cool card. And then he had his personal collection. He had the X-Men trade. And so I'm like, I'm gonna buy that, and I had him sign that, and I was like, here you go, Max. Like, happy
Yeah,
early
that's
birthday,
super.
dude.
Yeah, dude,
Like,
it was
just like,
dope.
and he's like, what? I don't know. And he's trying to be all like, not take it. I'm like, bro, just take the trade,
I'm like,
okay?
dude, I'm not gonna take it as I'm stuffing it in my backpack.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I don't
yeah, I'm
want
not
this,
taking
dude.
this. So that was dope. But by the time we were done, it was like, oh shit, I had turned on a light to just to help me look better. But oh, there it's back.
There it is. There it
But I
is.
just looked right into it. Yeah, and
Oh no.
It still looks good. It still
it's
looks
a
good.
ghost, bro. It's a ghost. Anyways, so fuck.
Yeah, it's right when you're going to talk. That's so. Oh no.
Like I'm just
Yeah.
turning it off. Dude, stop it. You're tripping me out.
The ghost heard you
Oh
talking
my
about
gosh.
Max's door behind him, and it's like, oh yeah, let me
I
show you
know.
something.
No, yeah.
No, it was cool because we were waiting there probably for like 40 minutes. And I thought at first I was like, oh, this is gonna be a quick 5-minute thing. This dude's
Right.
not talking to us. And then we ended up being there for like 40 minutes. And like you
That's
said,
so
there was
cool.
no line when we were there. And then
Right.
by the end of it, it was like
It's a
there
massive
was a
line.
huge
Yeah.
line. I was like, oh God.
We
I
just
was
held
like,
it up. Oh no.
Oh, but it was so bitching to have the time. Like he filled it with convo, which was
Right.
sick and rad. And it's one of the things I love about comic conventions is getting to meet the creators. And I love when you actually have time with them. And I mean, and granted, I kind of had to buy the time by having him do this cool sketch inside. But it's just nice to be able to ask questions or just to hear them just talk. And like sometimes they'll just freestyle and go off on their own, telling you whatever they're gonna tell you. But we were like, oh shit, we're gonna be late for the Marvel panel now. You know, and so
totally
it's like,
forgot about
dude,
it.
we
Totally
gotta
forgot.
go. So like I'm
Yeah.
like stuffing everything in my bag. I'm like, we gotta go. So we're like going in, and it's like, hey dude, like this sticker, I think this can get us wherever we want to go, dude. And he's like, oh, we'll see. So we like
I was
matching
like,
up,
what's the
and we
worst?
just are like, oh hey, like we're just like going like, here's the sticker, dude. Like, let
Yeah.
me.
Where
Hey,
does
I'm like
this
my
get me?
buddies. Well, and it would be like, hey, my buddy is a presenter. I need to get up there fast. Like, how do I get there? Oh, yeah, we'll take you. So go to right there, that corner. We're like,
Yeah,
sick,
dude,
cool.
the security was like, where do you guys want to go? We'll take you there. You
Right.
Yeah, I
know,
was like, nice.
it
And so
it
we
was
literally
crazy.
get in, and like, it wasn't even like they hadn't really let anybody in yet. And I was like, oh, sick. So we went in to go say what's up to Brandon to see if he like needed anything, and he's like, "Oh, this is Marvel. You can't be back here, guys." And I was like,
Yeah, it was like, dude, the security was so different from like Amazon to like Marvel. It was
"Yeah,"
like, I was like,
but
there
it
was
was like,
probably snipers on the
Yeah,
roof.
Marvel had the
There-
shooters up on the balcony
Kevin
and stuff.
Feige was up there with his sniper
Just
rifle,
waiting.
just like
yeah,
looking
he's like,
down.
ask
He's
a
like,
question. I dare you.
"Make a
Yeah,
move." Yeah.
yeah.
He's like, step one
Say,
more foot, SCOOPFLOW.
take a
Step
photo.
one
I dare
more
you.
foot.
I know, right? So, yeah. So we ended up saying what's up to Brandon right before the panel, kind of before they even let people in, and then we just like, dude, I'm like, I've never sat front row at a panel before. Like, let's sit front
Yeah,
row.
we're like, let's just sit front
Let's
row.
do it,
Like,
yeah.
let's just do it. And
So we had these epic seats, dude, for the
yeah,
Marvel
and
panel, which I imagine, dude. Like, I mean, don't get me wrong, I'm more like 90s 2000 comic book era is my prime. That's like my go-to. Even like maybe even 80s, late 80s, sorry, late 80s to early 2000s. And so like yeah, you know what? I watched WandaVision. Yes, I watched, Daredevil Born Again. Yes, I freaking loved X-Men 97. I'm going through Marvel Zombies a second time, but like there's a lot of shows I didn't watch Marvel movies, like Marvel television shows.
Mhm.
So I'm like it's cool. It's just if I have time to watch something, it's not that doesn't jump out for me like where I'm like, oh, so I haven't like I don't really go back to it. But it was so for me getting to be in the front of that, like the Invincible panel was like, yeah, that was the thing that really jumped me. But I'm sitting next to Max, who's like hyped, and then this other dude who's on my right who was just like super boned out. Like he is like stoked to be there, And I'm like, okay, man, I'm in it. Like, let's go. I'm feeling the vibe, and it's
well,
just bitching.
also, I didn't know it was like a Marvel TV panel. I thought it was a Marvel animation. I thought they were going
Yeah.
to talk a little bit about X-Men 97 and then like some other animation stuff they got going on. So I had no clue it was like Marvel TV. When they said Marvel TV, I didn't put two and two together. It was like all the shows, like Daredevil,
Yeah.
like all this stuff. I didn't even think about like your friendly neighborhood Spider-Man. I didn't think about any of that. And like when they started off with like, I think it was was it the Amazing Spider-Man or Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man thing? I
Mhm.
was like,
I think it was.
oh, what?
Yeah.
This is like who was it? Jeff Winterbaum.
Is it Brad?
Brad Winderbaum.
Brad
Brad
Winderbaum.
Winterbaum. Pulled out. I was like, okay. I was like, I know. I was like, I know of him. I was like, this is sick. And then like he was like, let's just talk about Sir. I think it was Daredevil first. What was first? Was it
I think it
Daredevil?
was-
Daredevil was in the trailer for the cartoon
Oh yeah. Oh,
Yes,
for
he
the
yeah,
was in the
animated
trailer.
Spider-Man. You know,
Yeah, it was dope, and it was
So-
like, and it was cool
It was
because
great.
Brandon Davis had this like dope ass intro from the Kingpin. I forgot who plays him, but
oh yeah, that was rad.
and it was like in his voice. He's like, yeah,
D'Onofrio. What's his last name?
D'Onofrio.
Vincent
D'Onofrio.
D'Onofrio.
yeah, and it was cool because it
D'Onofrio.
was like Brant said in like the Invincible panel they did, like the trailer was very made for New York Comic Con. This
Right.
intro was just for New York Comic Con. It was like he literally said, yeah, we got Brandon Davis coming to the stage, all this stuff, and I was like, this is
This is sick.
insane. I was like, I didn't know we were going to get like real life Daredevil, and then Charlie Cox came out and all that stuff, and I was like,
That's so nuts.
what's going on? And then yeah, I was losing my mind
Kristen
the whole time.
Ritter came
Then
out,
Kristen
right?
Ritter,
Is
yeah.
that
Dude,
next?
I absolutely lost
Kristen
it. I
Ritter
was like,
came out.
I'm
I
in
know. I was
love
like,
with you.
dude, like, I had to like just I'm like, calm down, dude. Like,
Yeah, I was like,
you can't. He was like trying to get up on stage almost.
Yeah,
He was
No,
like,
it
I'm gonna
was,
go
it was
up there.
cool, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was
I love
dope.
all the stuff. It was like, and it like, so I never watched the Spider-Man cartoon. I haven't yet, but like watching the trailer for the second season and homie on my right that is just like going buck wild for it. I'm like,
He had
I
his
gotta
phone
watch
out the
this
whole
now. I'm
time. I
like,
was like, dude,
Snipers,
Get
they're
booted, bro.
everywhere.
I
Yeah.
was like, turn it off.
Yeah.
But yeah, dude, it was bitching, dude. That panel was so sick. The Marvel panel was rad, and then afterwards they ended up giving away a bunch of comics for like the Apocalypse cover of the variant for X-Men 97. I was on a mad hunt, I still am, for So I think it went like the Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man, and then it went like X-Men 97, and when the X-Men 97, they brought out the old, like, the people from the original animated series, and they're like going to be like producers on it this season now or whatever. But the gal was wearing a hat, and it said previously on X-Men, and I was like, yeah, that's exactly what I did. I was like,
Literally.
Yeah.
I'm like, how? But I was like, dude, where do I find this hat? So I'm on the prowl now for that hat.
I was gonna say, what's his face had it too.
Brad.
No, the artist, the one we went to,
Chris Claremont.
Chris Claremont had it, and that's where I noticed it. I was like,
yeah,
that's a fresh hat, dude. And then
it's
they
a sick
had it,
hat,
and I was
dude.
like,
I know.
but we
so
saw
I'm
the
on the hunt.
voice
I'm gonna find
actors
it.
too for X-Men 97 walk past us, and I was like, I looked at Brent, I was like, are we in their seats right now, dude?
Imagine.
Yeah,
They
no.
definitely
Sit in the
looked at
front
us,
row.
and I was like, oh, we're for sure in their seats, dude.
And I was like, dude, no, friends and family badge, bro. We're in our seats.
Yeah.
Just got a sticker.
Show me the sticker.
It was like a sticker. It was just like,
It was like, what? Where is this thing? Like, did that come off a soda bottle or something weird?
dude, it was
epic,
ridiculous.
Though. So yeah,
I
then
think
there was a big line.
We saw the trailer for Vision Quest.
Yeah, that looked up too.
Which was I lost it at that point. Like Brant kept like putting my shoulder down because I was like trying to get out of my seat and stuff, and I was like, please let me just go on stage, please.
Well, what is that? What is that actor's name? Pat, but the dude that plays voice.
Paul Bettany.
Paul Bettany.
Paul Bettany. Yeah, so he came out on stage, and it's like, dude, the guy, and like his voice is so sick. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
it's like,
dude.
dude, like just do audiobooks, bro. Then like make
all
me to sleep.
yeah.
Come on, man. Like,
dude, it was
bitching.
I just
It was
didn't
a good
expect
time.
any of that, and I was like, dude, I was like, I don't even know what to do anymore. I'm like, I'm fine for the rest of my life.
Yeah,
Like,
it was good. Yeah.
The difference was that the Invincible panel was on the second small stage. Like, so there's the main stage, and then I think they called it the Empire stage or something like
Yeah.
that. And the Empire stage was a little smaller, but this was the main stage where it was like massive amounts of people. They do the Q&A some. Did they do Q&A for that one? I don't know
No,
if
they didn't do Q&A for that one, but it was just like it was cool to see just because it's like Brant said, we got in super early, and like there was other people in the entertainment industry, like other like podcasters and stuff, like
Right.
and I was like, oh, that's that
I know
Soups
that guy.
dude, you know. I was like, wow, we're in front of him. I was like, this is kind of weird. I was like, I don't know how we did this, but I was like, should have had stars on your badge, dude.
You get them star badge,
friends
dog.
and
You should have
family,
got
I
them
guess.
stars, man.
Yeah, dude. It was sick, and like shout out Jim, man. He really did help us out.
Viscardi hooked it up. I know.
He just took care of us.
So I sent him some goodies today. I actually went to my storage unit and got a bunch of old like Dutch Bro stuff. So like some sunglasses, a couple of the coins from Kocha.
Dude, those coins are
I
sick.
got a couple of those gold coins. I gave him like a fanny pack and like all this stuff. I'm like, bro, I'm sending you a bunch of goodies and a SCOOPFLOW hat because he didn't have one yet. But yeah, so dude, it was great, man. And after that, like, shoot, I mean, that was kind of like the big like hurrah. I mean, the big thing for me that day was the Chris Claremont, just meeting him. But afterwards, I think we went up. I kept feeling bad because I'm like, hey, dude, I'm on a hunt for. I'll show you. Like, so I'm doing the Claremont run.
Right.
Chris Claremont, he wrote all these stories. It started really kind of he had a lot his hands in the pie on Giant Size X-Men #1. And I mean, oh shoot, I sent you guys that video, right? I sent you that video of the kind of the me
comic
wearing
books,
the meta.
yeah.
So that is the Claremont run that I'm going to be going through. And so I have like this is my copy of X-Men 94. And this was graded at a 3.0, and I cracked it in order to like read it. And it's not bad, but like you can see like spine ticks and like, you know, I mean, the pages are kind of they're not the best. It's just old, right?
Right.
But it's not horrible. So I was like, you know what? That's what like my con hunt is gonna be. I mean, dude, look at that splash page. It's just sick.
Yeah,
this
that's
comic. Anyway,
so dope.
dude, like Dave Cockrum, just a freaking wizard. I was like, I gotta find a better copy. I'm gonna try to find a nicer copy. And so like I kept feeling so bad because I'm like, like this is the con experience that Max is getting, and then I'm just dragging him around.
Well, I
So
was
I
gonna
kept being
say
like,
it's
sorry, dude, sorry.
no, it was cool because so I've been to two cons before, and it was both San Diego Comic Con in 2012 and 2013, and I went there for like the pop culture side of things, you know,
Hmm.
and it was very much like who am I going to meet, like what TV shows am I going to watch, all this stuff, like what actors am I going to meet, and all this. Didn't really like. I knew who Jim Lee was just because of like Batman and stuff, and I saw like that was probably the only artist that I saw at Comic Con back in the day. And it was cool coming to this one where it's like I respected the art more than anything. And it was almost like a huge like breath of fresh air because it was like so many people put like so much time into their art, and it's just more than just like drawing a picture just for fun, whatever, you know. It's like they're putting their ideas of like what's in their head. Like some people, I know Tahani was saying like her, if you look at her artwork, it's very like dark and like magical and like mysterious, and she's like, and if you see the art you wouldn't guess that's the person drawing it. And she's like, this is where I get to release like my darker side of
Yeah,
things, you know. And I'm like, your darker side is dark. You know, I was like, oh,
and I
this is
like it.
crazy, and I love it right now, dude. But that was cool just seeing that aspect of it, and like kind of talking to different artists and what their inspiration was to like actually make like a picture, you know, like make a story with just images and stuff, and like it put it into a whole new perspective for me, where I was like, I respect this game so much more now, you know, where I'm
Yeah.
like, dude, I can't wait to collect more comic books now. Like I'm like, I love my digital comic book thing, but I was like, dude, I want to go buy physical
There's
copies
something
now.
about, man, there's something about just getting that paper. I mean, for me specifically, the old stuff, it just,
Mm-hmm.
there's the smell to it, there's the feel to
Hmm.
it, it all. But even talking with Liefeld, dude, he was just talking about, he's like, yeah, there's nothing beats the artist alley at New York Comic Con. It's just fantastic because there's so many phenomenal artists that are all through there. And at some point, I think yeah, after we went to the Marvel panel, we went to Felix's, he has like a whole strip of the artists that he reps. And I had picked up my my little sketchbook, and I mean, he had a couple of his artists just do some cool epic drawings in there, and so it's just sick. And so it's like, dude, the con was good. I went on the hunt for 94, didn't find any of it, kind of cruised around, went and checked out, dude, they had Batman six, what issue was it, what number was it, 612, I think it was, but it was like the first appearance of Hush.
For a
And that
million dollars
$1 million price tag. And I was like talking to him, I'm like, $1 million, bro. He's like, yeah, that's not us. That's just somebody. I'm like, that's just kind of weird even putting it out there,
That's
dude. I'm like, I'm just letting you
insane.
know, like, that's just like bananas. He's
It
like,
was pretty cool.
yeah,
It was pretty cool looking at. I took a picture of it, and
yeah.
I was like, this is insane. But for $1 million, I was like,
No,
Million dollar
it's
comic.
dude,
never gonna sell for it. I think at most a page like that, which is like first appearance of Hush, Batman, Jim Lee's first run on Batman, maybe max. I don't. Oh, I mean, I would say probably 200,
Hmm.
maybe
yeah,
maybe
they were saying
on a
like
good
two
day
thirty five.
250.
Yeah, two
Like
thirty five,
it's
250.
just it's just so the $1 million mark is very left field. Like, dude, you're out of your mind, but like kind of wild. But they had like cool stuff. Like there's some, I mean, you got Comic Connect, you got Comic Link, and you got Heritage Auctions. These three big auction houses that sell, movie prop merch, comic books, and original art. And so it's just cool to cruise around and look. I mean, dude, I don't there's a huge McFarlane Batman cover that is up for sale. It actually finishes tomorrow. And dude, I'd love to see where it ends up. I know it's gonna break a milli. I think that thing's gonna break a milli all day. But that isn't like, that's old school,
Right.
like iconic cover. And there's not, I mean, it's wild, but the comic world has been growing so much.
Hmm.
Uh, and in the collectible world as a whole, and so
Mm-hmm.
original comic art is just wild. I actually had a really cool talk with my finance guy today about just like, hey, dude, I really want to kind of focus some of my assets in the comic art space because I just love it so much, and it's grown and it's not like dying anytime soon, in my opinion. So But anyhow, it's super cool. So then getting to go low, but getting to go and get that sketchbook, getting to kind of give it a run, and it was just like, all right, like we so before all that had happened, my wife wanted to go. She's like, I want to go to a Broadway show. I'm like, sick. And she's like, you should invite Max. Like, it's his first time to, New York. And like, I mean, I don't know if he's not doing
It
anything. And I'm
was
like, yeah, dude.
insane, dude.
So I was like, hey, let's go see Stranger Things on Broadway. And it was like, all right. And Max is like, I'm in. I'm like, are you sure? He's like, yeah, dude, I'm down. I'm like, cool. So before that happens, I was like, all right, well, we got to go back to our hotel rooms because we got to be like, showtime is, I think, was at 7:30 or something like that.
Don't forget about the pizza, dude.
Well, that's where I'm leading right up to. So it's like we finally like are like, all right, let's go get ready. We gotta go get ready. And we get out and I was like, dude, like I'm starving, you're starving. Like, let's go get some street pizza, dog. And let's go find so I'm like, there's a couple places right around here. So we go walking around from away from the con and we show up to this place. I don't even know what it was called. But
Yeah,
it
I
was like
forgot.
El Presidente, dude, gave it 9.3. Is that what it was?
Yeah,
Damn.
Dave
A
Portnoy gave it
9.3.
9.3.
President giving a 9.3. That's crazy.
Yeah, so
Mm-hmm.
we got a couple of I got a slice of pepperoni and a slice of cheese, and then a Diet Dr. Pepper. And I think Max, you had a mushroom or something like
A
that, or would you?
mushroom and some mushroom and a slice of cheese, and it was. Let
It
me
was
tell you,
bomb.
dude, it was delightful. I was like
It's just
9.3.
that
I was like, okay, and then Diet
New
Dr
York
Pepper just
baby.
tasted so good, dude.
Incredible, bro. As always, the Diet Dr. Pepper, I'm just letting you guys know, Diet Dr. Pepper is by far the best diet beverage you'll ever have. It
It
tastes
was
more like
pretty.
regular Dr. Pepper.
Yeah, it was pretty fantastic, dude.
It was great. And so yeah, so we got to like kind of all right, I'm like trying to think of all the things in New York that it's like you gotta experience this, you gotta experience this, that while in the window of time that we had. So it was like, all right, sick. So then it was like, okay, man, I'll see you at Stranger Things. So let's don't be late. You gotta I think it started at 7:30 or something like that. So I was like, let's be there at 6:45. So we're
Mm-hmm.
not late for anything. We can kind of settle in and go get drinks beforehand or whatever. So yeah, so then like I don't know, Max just did the Homer Simpson disappeared into the grass
Oh
like
my God.
bush, like, and I was like, well, where do I
Yeah, I
guess
was
I'll
like,
go. So,
I
and so
was
then
like,
I ended up going, and Amber had been with her friend all day, and so she ended up meeting back at the room, and we got ready, and then we went, man, and we went to Stranger Things. What was it called? Stranger Things, like something Shadow, the first Shadow.
the first Shadow.
I
Yeah,
think
yeah, yeah. It was
Stranger
like a
Things, the
pre.
first
It
Shadow.
was a prequel. And when Brant was trying to explain it to me, I was I was a little confused because I was like, isn't like Stranger Things has prequels like in it, you know? And I was like, what is this going to be about? It was a legit a prequel to Stranger Things, and it was great. I was like,
It
it
was
connected
bitching.
the dots, and like, I don't. Brent probably thought I was annoying because I was like hitting him. I
No, it
was
was
like,
great.
how
This
are
is
they doing
crazy.
this
Yeah.
stuff, dude? I
Right.
was like, dude, the effects. I was like,
Broadway
is it
magic,
real,
dude. It's a
dude?
real
Literally,
thing.
Incredible.
there was like spider legs came out of a dude's
Wrapping around this.
back,
You're
and
like,
I
how are
was
you
like,
doing that? Yeah.
I was like
I look
looking
over and
around.
just
I
Max
was
is just
like,
He's like,
like
there's
just
no way
trying
that's
to like
real.
break the
Yeah.
code.
I was
He's
so
like, I could
I
do
was like
this. I could
looking
see it.
around. I was like, how are they doing that? You know, and
Right.
then the special effects was insane. So kudos to them. And then like during the show, this big monster just popped out of the ceiling,
Oh
and I
no.
was like, my head was like, I was like, this is the best thing I've ever seen in my life,
It was
dude.
so fun, dude.
Yeah, and like I think it was like a 2.5 hour show or something like that, right? It was like 2 hours.
Yeah, so they do an intermission and stuff. I don't know if you guys have ever been to New York and been to Broadway or anything, but they
Mm.
always do like a majority of them have like a little intermission in the middle of it, and you can go
Hmm.
kind of reload on a drink or get a snack or go to the bathroom and then come back. And I mean, it's basically like watching a long movie with a break in the middle.
Hmm.
And yeah, dude, a great thing. And then afterwards, it was like we're all hungry, and I was like, let's just. And New York is just gonna have dope Italian restaurants, and so we found this place. We went. Our first
Mm,
place we went to, Carmine's, was closed or like was at capacity, and we're like, okay.
yeah, Carmine
And then
Balcony, dude.
Amber's like really good at like finding places, so we ended up going to this place called Tony's, and we went in there and we closed it down, dude.
Can't go wrong.
We
It
literally
was
did
awesome.
close it down. It was yeah, it was I gotta stop getting so excited just thinking about it, dude. It was so we all
It
picked
was
one
bitching.
item. Yeah, we all picked like one food item and stuff, and I was like, I'm
Shared it
picking
family
this.
style, dude. It was
Yeah,
bitchin'.
dude, it was legit.
That's like
nice
once
glass of wine.
That's a once in a lifetime thing. You had Italian food in New York at a Tony's. Like, come on. Like, that's once in a lifetime.
New York than that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
what
dude,
is
it
exactly?
It was nice.
It was just dope. I went to Times Square for the first time, which was insane.
Oh yeah, we went to Times Square. Yeah, on
I
our
was
way to
like,
it was
yeah,
sick,
I was
and
like, what
it
the
was
heck?
busy, dude.
You're like,
It was
I saw a
slamming.
Spider-Man fight here. Hold on.
Well, I didn't even send you guys the pictures. I went to the red stairs. It was like closed off for
Mhm.
some reason, but I was like, dude, those are the stairs from Amazing Spider-Man
He
2.
saves those people there.
I
Yeah,
was like-
exactly.
Way smaller than I thought, but I was like,
Yeah.
still, I was like, whoa, this is like, I was just like starstruck basically
Yeah.
just from a set of stairs, and I was like, this is insane, dude. I was
Stare
like, this
struck is what they say.
Stare
They
Yeah.
call
Yeah,
that being
Starstruck.
stare struck.
dude. It was yeah, it was one of the greatest trips of my life, and like I appreciate you, Brant, for just even thinking
Hey,
of
my
me, dude.
dog.
It was
I'm thankful that you were there because I will say, you know, like again, I mean, that late '80s to early 2000s is my prime spot. So when it comes to a lot of these pop culture things, like some stuff I understand and catch, but there's so much of it. I'm like, yeah, I don't really know. I mean, my world has been so focused on raising my kiddos these last few years that it's just like, yeah, I don't. I mean, I'm not spending a lot of time with this absolute like kind of like going around and just diving into stuff like
Mhm.
I get to it at you know when the kids were younger it was like a lot easier, and now it's kind of getting back to it where now we just have Violet at home, so I'm like it's starting to kind of open up again. But I was thankful to have somebody that, one, I knew your passion for it, dude, and I knew your heart for the pop culture world, and shoot, I mean, you guys do this podcast, right? Like, and so it's like, oh, this is like this is easy, this is an easy little connection here. So, and the cool part is like the relationships that have been built on the other side of it, and it's like just super makes
That's
it
what
fun.
was cool about it. Like I even noticed like the balance of things. It was like, when BD or like Jim or someone, they were talking about just like normal pop culture references, I was like, dude, I know what I'm talking about. I said some stuff and I was like, oh, this is rad. And then I see you look at me and you're like, hell yeah, dude. And
Yeah, I
I'm
was
He's
like,
like,
he
oh,
knows
good,
ball.
good.
There
Somebody
it is.
gets it. Okay,
Yeah.
cool.
yeah. Yeah. I was like, yeah, dude, like we're talking about wrestling and stuff.
Yeah.
I was like, dude, this is dope. And then I remember that night we were with Brandon in the hotel room and we were talking about just different creators and like which ones we like. It was my time to like ask, a lot of questions and stuff. And we talked about Chris Van Vliet, who was really cool. We talked about, I'm blanking on his name, the guy I sent you guys on Instagram, he did like the Anne Hathaway video and all this stuff, and it was cool just like talking to Brandon about those dudes because he's like, dude, that was like our original like crew, when
Right.
the space was getting big.
Right.
And it was cool just seeing that side of it and how much respect he had for everyone and how they all kind of like helped each other out in the beginning. And there was a moment with Jim Viscardi, it was like on Saturday, I believe. We ran into him next to like Rob Liefeld, and I was like, okay, this is my moment to ask him a question now, because he's someone I look up to a lot. I was like, what's one piece of advice you could give like us as like for the podcast and stuff? And I showed him some clips and stuff, and he was just like positive. He's like, that's the number one thing, and it's crazy because that's like we all worked or work for Dutch Bros currently, and it's like that's one thing, Dane, Brant's dad, kind of like embodied. He's like, just be kind to others, right? And just be happy. And like kind of that message, I was like, dude, this is a weird, weird world. Like how it's just all intertwined. But yeah, the piece of advice was just like positive, be consistent, and like don't like fake anything. Don't be mean. Like obviously like the rage bait and stuff, they all, obviously people get views on it, but it doesn't last, right?
No.
And it's like
Yeah.
everything's like so positive. And I thought about it. I was like, dude, when I watch like Phase Hero and stuff, and when I watched Phase Zero back in the day, it was just like the main thing that kind of kept me watching was like they were all just so positive about everything,
Right.
and that's how you build your audience and stuff. And I was like, Jim, dude, you're the man, dog. I was like, this dude's so freaking dope. And he's just like, he's a cool dude. He DM'd me on Instagram and stuff, and he was like, dude, he's like, if you ever need anything, you're a cool dude, just let me know, yada yada. And I was like, dude, this dude's freaking dope, like, so I'm probably gonna hit
Heck
him up
yeah.
for advice in the future. And yeah, dude, Brand, you kind of just set everything up, dude. It was great. Great time.
Honestly, it's one of my favorite things that I've always like enjoyed about it's just building community in a
Mhm.
way, you know. I loved it so much with Dutch, and now like I feel like I'm getting to do it with ScoopFlow, and I think it's just something that makes it. I mean, like it's really dope to go to do really bitchin' experiences, but it's even better when it's with like your friends, you know?
Mhm.
And it's like, dude, it makes it like it creates a deeper like memories. It creates kind of more like I can go to I've done it. I've gone to Emerald City Comic Con solo a few times and it's super
Mhm.
fun and it's super bitchin'. But man, there's something cool about getting to like get hyped with somebody while you're in it, you know, still.
Mhm.
So and making the connections is just a no-brainer, you know. I mean, I think that it's yeah, it's spot on. It's like, dude, kindness moves, man.
Mhm.
Kindness makes it's something that like is contagious as well. And I mean, even that gal was like, "Hey, all of our people loved you. Like, you should really do this." It's because that world, I feel like there's a lot of like bitterness in it. Like, there's a lot of like sharks, right? Trying to get their thing. And so when they have somebody like kind, it's like, wait, whoa, all
That's
right,
cool.
oh,
Yeah.
like you're just a cool person. Cool.
Right.
So I don't know. It's something that I've always loved about the comic community because I feel like the comic community is essentially really a lot of introverted people. So it's when you get to these cons, it's like when they get to exercise, their extrovert in them comes out, you know?
Right.
And when you can just kind of like be like cool and kind of gentle with that, because like introverts are vulnerable, introverts are
Mhm.
sensitive, introvert, you know, a lot of magic happens, man. It's super
Right.
fun. So I love comic cons, but I mean, it's a blast when you get to share those experiences with others. And honestly, like there's something about I think it's like when it's beneficial for everyone, you
Mhm.
know, like I think it's beneficial for Jim Viscardi or for Brandon Davis to be pouring into you because it's giving them like something to pour out. And if you want, like, if your cup's full, dude, you don't have any room for anything new, you know?
Right.
So like when you pour out, that's when you can allow that cup to kind of empty up a bit, allow some new freshness coming in. So I think it like in a way it was cool for them too in a huge way because it's like, oh dude, somebody I can actually just that's not trying to just get something from me. They're actually just they care and they're like excited about and they want to learn. Sick. Because I think that like the thing that my dad like was always so good at and I watched him my whole life um be a student. You know, like he was always a student. He always was studying something. He was always learning something. And I think there's when you can find yourself being in a place where you're always learning or growing and being challenged, it's like there's a lot of growth in it and there's a lot of joy that comes with that. You know, like it's like fresh water coming in, feels like, oh yeah, like yeah, stir it up, baby. Let's go, you know. So it was cool, man. I feel like you did a really good job, dude, especially bringing that kind of energy and heart that I like that I want for Scoop Flow. Like you brought it well. So thank you so much, sir.
Yeah, it was my pleasure, dude. And it was freaking yeah, it was my pleasure. It was fun. It was a dream, dude. It
Once in a
was
lifetime.
unreal.
There you go.
Yeah.
So okay, I mean, I don't we talked a lot, boys. I don't know if there's you guys have any other questions. I feel like you guys have kind of just been
Feel like our
listening
whole
to us
list was
ramble
Dude,
marked
you
on.
were
off.
answering them
So
as you were going. I was like, man,
Literally,
how do
yeah.
you know this?
It was perfect.
I have one.
There's
I
probably
don't
one,
know if
right?
it's like
Yeah.
that hard hitting of one, but you talked about like introverts and like how people really get to display, things that they may not display like on, a normal day-to-day basis. I think one of the cool things about Comic-Con, and I know Max sent a couple of photos of people, are like the cosplays that people do. Was there any
yeah,
of them that really like stood out to you guys that was like the best one, or any that you thought were super dope?
you go, Max. Go ahead.
I was gonna say there was a lot of K-pop Demon Hunter
Okay.
everywhere, and then it was cool just seeing there was a lot of like Mandalorians or like stormtroopers dressed up as like different
Mm-hmm.
characters,
That's sick.
you know. So
Yeah.
there was like stormtroopers dressed up as like Dragon Ball Z characters. It was very weird, but it was super cool. I took a couple pictures with some like anime people that were dressed up, and
Yeah.
there was like some stuff that I sent you, Austin, because I know you watch Demon Slayer
Yeah.
now. And I was like, Austin, do you get
I was
this,
like, I
dude?
know that guy. I've seen him
Yeah,
now.
you're
Yeah.
like,
I know
and
him. I know him.
yeah, so it was like that kind of stuff was really, really cool to see. Like
Yeah.
those people, like I was like, shoot, I should have dressed up for something,
Yeah.
But I don't know, dude. I mean, I kind of just like I just dug all the costumes. I was like, oh, this is rad, you know.
Yeah.
And like I think at there was a lot. I think there was a little bit less than when I went to San Diego.
Right.
I think San Diego, like a lot of people really like show up. You
Mhm.
know, like they're like, you know, it was kind of crazy. The day we went on Saturday, it wasn't as busy as like Friday or Thursday was either, and so like maybe like Saturday was like the only day where I was really at the con the whole time, and so maybe I was like, oh, maybe I missed some great costumes because I'm like when I look back online and stuff now, it's like I'll see like the hashtag New York Comic Con,
Mhm.
and like I'm like,
Yeah.
dude, these costumes are rad. Like
Yeah.
where the
Yeah, where
heck,
was
you
that
know?
one? I wish I would have
Yeah.
seen that.
Exactly, you know, and so that stuff was kind of cool to see. So
That's dope.
One of the things when we went to the Marvel panel, they did like a thing where it's like, hey, if you're in cosplay, come on up to the front, you know, because they're filling up the VIP
yeah, that was
seats.
dope.
That's sick.
So there's a ton of people in cosplay. Nobody in anything crazy, you know, but
Yeah.
like a lot of cool little costumes. But the only one I actually took a picture of was there was a Cable cosplay that went and was getting photos with Rob Liefeld, and I was like, so I took a couple pictures because like it was just a badass comic version of Cable that was
Yeah.
like, and the dude just was like yoked and just like freaking big old gun
Yeah,
and like
dude.
just like you're like, dude, that's sick.
That's so dope.
But I mean, I've seen some pretty cool ones over the years for sure. I really like it didn't nothing pulled my attention really.
hmm
But other side of it, like seeing some pictures, I was like, damn, I wish I would have seen that guy, dude. Like
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm
like
like
the
Post
guy in the
Malone.
Yeah.
yeah,
He was
Posty was
there.
there, dude.
Yeah, he
What the
was there.
heck?
I was like,
Didn't know.
when and where? I think we were busy
I
at
know.
one of the panels.
We
Mhm.
were doing
But
something.
yeah, I
We
was
really missed out. We really
like,
missed it.
dude,
We just
like,
effed up.
but just like I'm excited just to, like go to future events. Like I know I talked to Cameron and Austin about it.
Mhm.
Like we want to go to D23.
Mhm.
Obviously, San Diego Comic Con tickets go on sale next month.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And
I just
so
got okay, so San Diego, I just found a loophole. It's
mm,
not cheap, boys.
it's the
But
library pass or whatever. Is that
yep,
what it?
I did it.
Yeah,
I
I
did it
saw
for
you
Amber and
did
I
it.
both.
That's crazy.
Oh my gosh.
It's like what is it like a dude? It's like $1,000 or something. Just like
It was
bare
no, it was more than
minimum, I
that.
think.
Yeah. No, it was
Dude.
1,000. It
But
was
I wanted
1,000.
to
Yeah, yeah.
support the museum, bro. I needed to support the museum.
Yeah, dude.
But you get a 4-day pass with it. So I was like, all
Fair.
right, cool. Now I don't have to stress on not getting a pass. So
Yeah,
you're really
is
paying
true.
for a peace of mind, contributing to history as you're helping a museum, and also the opportunity to enjoy a comic convention. I don't even like, here's this
we should do
secret,
it,
which is
boys.
stupid.
We should
I
do
don't
it.
even know if I'm able to go or not yet. So we'll see.
Mm,
But
yeah.
whatever. It is what it is. I mean, I think, dude, like, so it got me chewing and thinking about like, so I did hit up Emerald City Comic Con. Was like, hey, dude, how much to be an exhibitor? What's it look like? And because I think it's something that like for Scoop Flow as a whole, and I talked to Max about it a little bit, but it's like the three big pillars that I'm really kind of focused on. Like one, the overall thing is just friends and family. That's my
Mhm.
thing. So the biggest one historically has been coffee. Coffee will never not be a part of that equation. I love Dutch Bros. I will, help however I can with the company and participate in whatever I can. Two is golf. Like me and my family, we own a golf course and it's a sweet community of people out there. The culture there is just dope. I mean, as you can imagine, it's just Dutch Bros doing golf, and it's Dutcher Creek Golf Course, man. It's super sick.
Mm-hmm.
And then the third big one is just comics. Like comics are my jam. They make me happy. I love like sitting down and dorking out on a comic book. And so I'm like, I just want to continue to grow in these spaces. And I think like I'm excited to see what kind of unfolds with the relationships that we're continuing to build, but also like, man, I'm here to be my hope is to help people grow.
Mhm.
My hope is to help people build the brand or whatever community that they're creating. And I just want to come alongside it and just help it, because it's what I love. I love seeing people that are passionate and not afraid to work hard. And that's something that you saw with Brandon Davis. That's something that I've seen with Rob Liefeld. That's something I've seen with Jim Viscardi. I mean, it's just something you see in these people that it's like there's a drive and a passion, and they're using their time in a fantastic way. And that makes me then go, like, I went from this experience in Chicago that was super awesome to this whole weekend in New York that was just like, all right, I came home to, I've worked out every single day I've been home. I started cleaning the studio out, started
Let's
taking some
go.
notes about what I'm doing next, about what's going on next, setting up meetings with like, hey, like doing this, or having a meeting on Wednesday with Brandon, having like different phone calls. And I'm like, I just want to keep growing. I just want to keep building my world out, and I want to bring people in and have them kind of just kind of continue to grow their own little worlds in those pockets. And so I was stoked. My hope was that like you guys would get content from all this stuff and then build on it, and also inspiration, like dude, yeah, what are you guys doing? What do you want to do next? I mean, obviously I know you guys are just, this is a fun thing that you guys just do out of the, just because it's fun, and I totally get it, because I do the same thing. I don't ever put mine out there at all. But I think like I can see like a season where it's like it's coming. Like there's a season coming where I'm like, I can't wait for the Scoop Flow to just kind of all of a sudden, release the Kraken out there into the world.
Right.
But for now, I'm like I'm enjoying really kind of the last season I have with my kiddos at home, my youngest being home still. And then also like I'm kind of like training now, right? Like there's a marathon coming and I don't want to hit it cold turkey. I want to hit it kind of where I've been training for it. And I'm excited for that. And I think having these experiences of going to Comic-Con, helping put on an event, even though it was very hands off for me, like it's like shit, I can already tell the corners that we can chisel away here, the
Right.
refining that we can turn this thing into a diamond, man. I get excited about it. And whether that's with Phase Hero or not, I don't know, but like, man, I think it's something that I'm looking forward to. So Friday night, my wife and I got to have a really special dinner together, and it was so bitching because our lives are busy, and so having like a break and just really having a really nice dinner and just conversation was priceless. I mean, that was the gem for me of the weekend. And but she's like, are we going to be going to a lot more Comic Cons? And I was like, I think so, babe. I think
Yeah.
so.
Let's
Like,
go, dude.
I don't know what's happening, but like, but I promise you they'll be in dope cities so that you can enjoy, like, you don't have to feel stuck. But she's a sweetheart and she knows my passion. She knows my excitement and my love for this whole world. And um, so it was a pleasure to bring you into it, Max. It was a pleasure to have you guys, like, I know, kind of drooling on the sidelines as you're watching everything going on with it. But I do think it's something that like is something that it's there's I feel like there's some ingredients missing from the comic world, from that pop culture world, that I think are not too hard to build, and to kind of pour in, and I'm excited to get to a place where we can start making our own cookies.
Yeah, dude.
Absolutely.
It's gonna be bomb. I think we have a like it made me more excited, just more like fired up than I was before already about this podcast. And like we're just excited to see where it goes
Mhm.
from here. And
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
yeah, I'm pumped. Like our goal, like I think we talked about it yesterday, but we just talked about, we're like, okay, cool. We just gotta try to make any con event at this point. Like let's just try
Yeah.
to get out there more. Um and just making those connections with people. It's just like all the people you named, and it's like they the cool like thing that they all have in common was they're trying to help other people out, which is crazy.
Yeah. It's
But they
rad.
were all willing to be like, yo, what do you need? Do you like want advice? Do you want like all this stuff? I'm like, what the heck? Like, okay,
Right.
And
I'm
I'm
here for it.
like, yeah, it's super dope just meeting those people. And like I can't wait till we cross paths like again with certain people like Jim. Super excited. Uh, if he comes out to the Scoop Flow Invitational, like dude, we'll be there.
Oh
We'll,
yeah.
we'll be
Oh yeah,
there.
Hmm.
baby.
The Hero Brew will be there. And so it's like we just want to we're just like super grateful and stuff for you, and like just giving us like the opportunity to even do what we're doing now. And it's like it's dope. You're helping us out.
Mhm.
Like
Right.
you're a huge inspiration to us. So it's like we appreciate it.
Well, hey, you know what, guys? It's I appreciate you guys are all part of my world, man. I as I'm getting older and stuff, it's like there's a you meet a lot of different people over your life, and I think like, man, I just I've never, my friend group has never really been ever gave two shits about comic books. And so I was kind of always on an island by myself. And so it's like, it's sweet to get to kind of share my passion and my love for comics. And also like with that comes pop culture, you know what I mean? Like it's a
Mm-hmm.
huge part of all that stuff. And so it's like it's cool to kind of learn all that stuff too and kind of get to understanding of all that and also get excited. I mean, shoot, I never even watched Peacemaker until I listened to Phase Hero because I went down to Southern California to pick up a piece of art and I like didn't want to fly home because it's massive. You guys want to see it?
Yes.
Of
Yep.
You want to see
course.
this art? Let me just show you guys.
Absolutely.
Okay, let me
I
show you
just
because
love
it's just
I love
it's
the
a
Joker picture, dude. It's
And
so
then
great.
the thwip too.
The whip. Oh yeah, Cameron, you didn't get to see all this
Mm-hmm.
artwork.
But
Oh, I saw it. I watched when I watched
Oh, you
it.
watched
The
the episode.
pod.
That's
Yeah.
true. That's true.
the full
The full.
tour.
Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah, so that Joker actually, Amber's brother Drew did that during COVID for me. He's a
Whoa.
tattoo
What?
artist, so he was like kind of couldn't do stuff for a while.
Yeah.
As I'm like speaking from the other room.
I know, it's
Check
kind of cool.
this bad boy out.
Whoa.
This is
Oh,
like
that's so fresh.
just a massive. So this is from Extinction Agenda. Chris
Yeah.
Stevens, a legend. But like this is a huge fight scene, and it's like so I haven't gotten it framed yet. I'm getting it framed here sooner than later. So that is just a huge.
Pretty
So I went
fresh.
down to
That's so
LA
sick.
to pick up this piece of art because I'm like, I want to frame it up and get it all set up and put on the wall, you know. So I'm like, I'm not gonna have it shipped because it's gonna get dinged up, and I'm also not flying with it. So I drove home. On the drive home, all I was doing was listening to the Phase Hero podcast, and I was like, what's this Peacemaker about? Like, I gotta. So then I got hooked, you know. So I think like these podcasts that are going out there, just kind of reviewing things, talking about stuff that's going on. It's awesome. It's actually bringing people to, I mean, it's getting people's attention and also bringing them to different little sections of the world out there that are just super fun. And so
Yeah.
I highly encourage you guys to go to Comic Cons. They're so rad. And there's so
Yeah,
many
well,
of them going on all the time.
Right.
yeah, we're gonna look up Emerald City.
Mm-hmm.
Hopefully, we connect with you there. Trying to think, D23 and San Diego Comic Con are probably like those three are the top three.
Is
We're trying to get
D23
in.
this next year?
Yeah.
It's
again?
gonna be this next year. Yeah, so tickets
Is
go on
it at
sale. It said
is it Disney World this year? This coming year then?
It'll be in Anaheim, I think.
it'll be in Anaheim.
Yeah.
So do
again.
they do it every other year?
In
a different
Anaheim,
because
yeah.
last
In
it
Anaheim.
was in Anaheim last time.
Yeah. So then this year they did the mini. It was like a mini D23 basically, and
Mhm.
then
In Orlando?
yeah, it was in Orlando.
Okay,
Mhm.
And then
gotcha.
they're going back to Anaheim. I think tickets go on sale in spring of next year. So
So
we still got time for
Mhm.
that.
Yeah.
But we're just gonna
I
make
went
sure.
so D23 this last time was my first time. It was sick.
It
It's
was
fun.
it was crazy. We streamed it live, and it was
Yeah,
actually
so
one of
fun.
like I think we streamed it on my Discord, and we had like a lot of views. It was just like we had
Yeah.
thousands of views, and I was like,
I
what the heck?
it being there, it was a lot. There was a lot I didn't really plan for or understand, but like
Yeah, it was obviously more pop culture and stuff too.
yeah, and it also like even just the way that they were doing panels and you had to
Mm-hmm.
register for it and weird different things. I'm like, we didn't know any of that stuff. But we ended up like, I mean, we're just there for Disney, dude. We freaking love Disneyland. So
Yeah.
it was a blast. I'm sure we'll go again too. So
Yeah, so yeah,
I
we'll
mean,
connect. We'll connect with you sometime.
oh, most definitely, boys. I want to listen. I'm here to like help. I want to help you guys continue to refine whatever it is you're doing and be a
We
soundboard and
just
whatever it is.
we want you to keep making the content like that. When you did the meta glasses content, I was like, this is so dope. I was
Yeah.
like, dude, could we just please put this as like an outro to our video or an intro to our videos? Like, I feel like that would be, or like even like as an outro, I feel like it fits in perfect, like, oh, here's a comic book section of the pod now, and it's like, boom, we do like a little video. I think that would be sick, dude.
I've got,
Just
it's
say it,
funny
dude.
because I've got, I have basically two, I mean, I've got two pretty much done and then the third recorded. And as I'm kind of doing it, I'm like, oh, okay, like learning myself. But I've like the season, all of a sudden, like the season turned and life got a little hectic for a bit. But what I want to do is have a stack of them built up, and then I want to have it where I release them all weekly on my Instagram as a reels and whatever it is. I don't know what I'm doing in any of this stuff, but also
Dude,
like I just want to put it out there because I'm like I love it. I love making it and editing it and just kind of it's so fun for me. And so so the first day I got back here, I've all those videos I did in the house, in my office in the house, and I was like, when I got back here the first night, Amber was like zonked out like early. And I'm like, well, I'm a night owl, so I could stay up late. I know you guys are up later than me right now, but like I could stay up all night long, right? And so I'm like, I came in here and I was just writing all this shit. And I'm like looking around the studio, I'm moving some stuff, cleaning it up. And I'm like, I have this badass like studio upstairs that I'm not even using for anything right now. So I got the lights set up. So I'm like, I'm gonna film these things and then I'm just gonna edit upstairs. I'm like, I'm getting excited, you know?
let's
So
go,
I'm
dude.
excited to be able to share with the comic room, which is my Instagram handle, that it's just it only follows comic book stuff, you know, like that's my whole thing with it. It's my favorite algorithm to have in my freaking social media zombie land. But I mean, honestly, you know, watching guys like Brandon, watching Rob Liefeld do his thing, even watching you guys do your stuff, like I'm telling you, like what Jim Viscardi said, which is like be consistent, like be consistent, because then it's gonna make others do the same. And so that's the thing. Like I know I'm not in a space yet to be consistent, and that's why I haven't really put out anything. But again, like I'm training right now because that consistent season's coming and it's
Yeah,
coming in hot and it's going to be here before I know
it's
it. And
just,
I want to be able to flex on them when I get it, you know?
dude,
So
it's cool. It's like freaking. I think Jim liked our last reel that we just posted, and I was like, that's cool. I was
Mm-hmm.
like, this is dope. I'm like,
it's dope, man.
why am I getting so excited for this? Like it was. I was like, this is insane.
I get it. It's exciting. It is exciting because it's a new relationship and there is also like so much opportunity, you know?
Yeah,
And again, being kind, man, it's the secret ingredient to life. And I wish everybody understood it, but it's just some people like to not be.
yeah. We just gotta stay positive. We can't hate on anything, boys. All
Exactly.
right, no more hating.
No, I mean, listen, but I say this though, you know what? You also, more than that, honesty. Honesty is the overarching thing of
Yeah,
all that stuff. Because you know what? Like, I'm telling you, it isn't what isn't kind if everybody's saying, "Hey, dude, go watch freaking Madam Web. It's a great movie." Well, that's just not being kind, bro. That's a lie. You're hurting people by just lying. So,
Fair.
you know, so you got to like. I literally watched maybe 5 minutes of that movie. I'm like, what the
What am I
fuck
I
watching?
is
think
this?
Austin said the same thing.
I've never even
I
watched
turned it
it.
You're
off
like,
after
what
like
is this?
15, 20 minutes. I was like, I'm not
I
gonna.
I I tried to watch the last Venom movie and I was like, what am I doing with my life right now? Like,
Yeah.
who am I? What is this?
Dude, it
Like,
was
I don't
tough.
even care now. I like it got to a point where I'm like, I don't even care.
Right.
I don't care what this is.
Right.
But yeah, I mean, that doesn't mean that you have to be like, yeah, you know what Dakota Johnson is a bitch. You know, like
No. Yeah.
she's a horrible actress. I can't stand, you know, like that doesn't serve anybody, you know. But if you say, hey, dude, Madam Web, you know, if you want to freaking get bored out of your mind. So anyhow,
It's just your honest
kindness.
review
Give
of
it a
it, though.
watch.
You know,
You know. Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Give it a watch. Give it a
it
watch.
Yeah.
wasn't for me, but go
It
ahead,
could be
try
for
it out.
you. It
Yeah.
could be for
I'll
you.
tell you.
Yeah.
So one of my favorite things, I took my wife when we were in Hawaii this last year for the Christmas break. My whole family's out there, so I take my kids and like all like the nephew or like the cousins, right? They're all like young high school kids, and we went and watched Nosferatu in the theater.
Dude.
And like I literally I liked that movie. I enjoyed it. I'm like I thought it was
Dude.
beautiful. I thought it was weird, but I also like didn't mind it. And
So
we get out of
weird.
the movie and they're like, I can't believe you made us watch that. But
Yeah. Yeah.
and just
Freaking
got this
out.
big vampire dong just hanging
Yeah.
around and you made us watch it. I'm like, you guys didn't like it? They're like, no, it was horrible.
Yeah.
It was, but I also like, I'm like, yeah, I can see like where like, yeah, I mean, all the same vein, I haven't watched it again. You know,
Yeah.
like
True.
I don't know if I will, you know, I don't know if I'm gonna ever watch it again, but I enjoyed it. I was like, this is weird,
This is a
man. This is
weird
a
movie.
good
Yeah.
fun time.
It was shot really good.
Yeah.
Like it looked really good. Like I
Yeah,
Yeah.
the
loved
visuals were great.
like
Dude, I remember.
I remember I was watching with Austin over
Yeah, he
FaceTime, and I'm like,
FaceTimed me like right as I started the movie, and I'm like,
He's like,
dude,
"Do you
I don't
wanna
know what
watch
I'm
it?"
watching right now, but this is
he's
kind of
like, "Do you want
sick.
to watch it?" I was like, "Yeah." So he started it over,
Yeah.
and we just watched it, and I was
Dude.
like, this is insane.
Yeah.
I was so into it though. It was so weird, but
It is a weird thing.
I couldn't take my eyes off of it. I'm like,
Yeah,
vampire
that's understandable.
dong. Dang it.
That happens, man. That happens. But yeah, I mean, I guess it's like, yeah, be an honest critic, and it's okay to be kind while doing it. And you also can be as mean as you want. I mean, we're all alive and free.
It's just life.
Shoot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just don't be like, don't fake it to make it, basically.
Exactly.
Don't
Amen.
like, you know what I'm saying? It's like, don't like I said, when Jim said that, just be kind. Don't be mean. Don't I was like, dude, I took it. I was like, I really thought about it. I was like, what did he exactly mean by that? But it's like every podcast I really enjoy. It's just like, they're just so happy to be doing what they're doing. And they don't use it to just like, oh, I hate this, you guys should hate it too, yada yada. Because it's like, I will only go so far. It might get you the clicks, it might get you some of the views, but it's like at that point, it's like, what are we doing? Like, we're doing this podcast. We started it for
There's
like
so
a
much
passion.
of it out there.
We started this just for like, because we enjoy talking about it, and like people were like, oh, you guys should do a podcast, you guys should do this, yada yada. We're like, might as well have other people listen to it, even if other people don't listen, we're still putting out stuff. We're like, hey, this is just, it's our way. Like, I'm not good at drawing, I'm not good at like writing a book. I'm not good at any of that stuff. And it's like, this is my way of expressing myself, And it's like, if I didn't, I wouldn't know what I would be doing right now. It's weird.
I mean, I think like the biggest audience is going to be yourself, like that whole little thing, this comic room run that I'm doing with Claremont Run. It's just for me. It's just for me, dude. I want to read it for me because I'm like, one, I want to go through and read all these comics. Two, like I also like want to leave something back of like, I can watch 5 years from now and be like, oh yeah, okay, I'm getting ready to go through this run again. And oh, what did I think of this issue last time? Shit, I can't wait to watch. But also, like, who knows what opportunities will open up by creating. I think being a creative and actually getting your things out there in the world is rad. And quite honestly, I've been kind of super fearful, like when my world kind of shifted so much and I wasn't doing the Cocha events anymore, and I wasn't like, it was like my confidence kind of took a weird blow that was really hard for me to get through. But by doing this golf tournament and like just putting on these little events, it's just like, shit, it's right here.
Yeah,
Here we go,
Yeah.
boys. Here we're back.
We're practicing our swings, dude. Watch out.
That's right, baby.
They're
That's
not
right.
ready for us, dude. They're not ready for us.
Well, we'll see how things go, man. I mean, I'm really excited because it's the journey, baby. It's not the destination.
Yeah.
So
stupid. You're ridiculous.
Well, I mean, hey, thanks for having me, boys. I know it's getting late for some of you guys.
We appreciate it, dude.
You guys are awesome.
Yeah, dude.
And listen, next time we're gonna have to figure out how to get the whole gang together so that you guys can. I mean, honestly, dude, like watching even Brandon Davis do all this stuff, it's like there ain't no reason why you guys don't get a hotel room, turn that into your own little recording studio, and you go to con and every night you record and you put out while you're there. You do, Listen, I put on SCOOPFLOW Invitational, right? I've done it for 2 years now. Every year. And it's long nights, dude, and I've been drinking all day. I've been like hammering, smashing out with my buddies. I come back to the studio and I get on microphones with my boys and we talk for like 2 hours till like 2 in the morning. Then I get up the next day at 8. I get up at 7. I go in the sauna, I go in the cold plunge, I get a fresh start, I get out and I mash out to the course, play a full day of golf, full day of drinking, full day of hanging with my friends, doing all this stuff. When it's done, I get back to my house. It's about 10:30, 11. Guess what I do? I get back on the microphone with my boys because that's the event and I want to record it every night. I have those recordings. This year we actually filmed them. I don't know if I'm going to share them with anybody because the best part is this. This is the best part where you're getting together and sharing ideas, sharing thoughts, sharing your reviews, sharing whatever it is. So if you guys do it, you go to a Comic-Con, you go get it set up. It doesn't have to be something crazy. You don't have to have, but you just maybe you rent an extra room that's just the interview room. And maybe, just maybe, you'll run into somebody that is going to just come back and do an interview with you. But if not, shit, you got each other and you can do some really cool content that's fresh off your brain, fresh off the experience. and then you can put it out there.
That'd be so sick.
That
It's
would be
that
sick.
easy.
Easy,
You
boys.
just
Mm.
kind of planned it out for us, dude. Like, but I do like what you say because it's like, and I'll just finish it off with this. But it's like usually when we're done recording our podcast, Cameron, you're really good at doing this. But and I don't even know if you mean to, but at like the very end of our podcast, Cameron always goes, dude, that was a good one, you know? And I'm like, dude, it was a good one. We all agree. We're like, oh, dude, that was so fun, you know? And it's just like no one's listened to it yet. You know, it's just
Yeah.
us.
Right.
And it's like, I just thought about what you said, and it's really like that's where the magic is. You know, like we're just so
Oh, yeah.
happy that we're doing it. We're like, dude, that was
Yep.
dope. You know?
Mhm.
Like, so yeah. Dude, I'm
Imagine how dope it's gonna be if you're like sitting on the 15th floor down in Seattle, looking out over the city, and you just wrap up and you just look out there and you all just like toast a beer and just sip
That'd
and
be
just
sick.
enjoy. Like that was sick.
we just gotta
dude.
do it, dude.
Oh man.
That's the
Yeah,
best.
I want to
man.
like I have like mics and stuff that I wish I brought with me. Like I have like a whole like interview set, and I'm like,
Nice.
dude, I'm gonna bring this next time. We're just gonna interview people on the floor. Like we're gonna do a whole bunch of stuff. Like even
Heck
if
yeah.
it's just like about their costumes and stuff, it's like cool. We're just gonna talk about it, you know. And so, yeah, thank you for being on the pod, dude. We always
Heck yeah,
appreciate you.
man.
You're welcome back anytime, dude. And then like guys,
Yeah, boys.
genuinely
Hey,
mean
listen, I
that.
don't want to smother you. I don't want to smother you. Okay.
Never.
Never, not at all, dude. You could smother us all you want, dude.
Hey.
But no, appreciate you guys. Cameron Austin, appreciate you. Brant, we do this little sign off thing where could we find you at?
Oh gosh, you know what? So we've got. SCOOPFLOW.com. It's mainly my site for where you can get some cool merch if you want. We're kind of low right now because I just gave a shit ton away.
Yeah, dude. The merch is super sick though.
Fair.
The merch is
It's
super
fun,
sick.
but it's also like where I kind of keep up. I haven't worked on it in a little while. These are things getting back, but like just little mini blogs that I put out. A lot of content that was leading up to the tournament. But scoopflow.com is the website. But I'm at Scoopflow or at the Comic Room on Instagrams mainly. I play in the
Perfect.
Twitterverse, but not really. It's kind of a heavy place for me, and I don't really dabble in anything else.
Sick.
But for now, like hit me up,
Scoop
man.
Flow.
If you want to see my comic collection, it's badass. A lot of comic art at the
Please.
Comic Room. And then
dude.
Scoop Flow is where I just kind of post. I'm not a regular poster, and this is one of the things that I'm kind of trying to shift. Is I feel like the last few years I've been more focused on consuming, and so I'm kind of trying to shift towards that creating world again. And so
Yeah,
you know.
we got you. No, we'll find you at Scoop Flow on Instagram and stuff. I love it. I love the content you put out. I think the Comic Room is super sick. And then everyone that's watching, you could follow us on the Hero Brew podcast on all socials. Follow on YouTube, like, subscribe. If you have any questions for Scoop Flow, drop it down in the video below or in the comment section below. And yeah, thank you for brewing with us, everyone. Next time we
Thank
should have
you, guys.
beers or something.
For sure.
But yeah, we'll do a little cheers next time. But yeah, thanks for brewing with us. Appreciate you guys. Peace.